Bloemfontein, that this is sub judice, the issues are sub judice, and we are very close to a settlement, so it's better not to now risk anything.
Genies says the Bloemfontein leadership has for many years been working to get the area formalized. However, administrative red tape and the constant changing of political leadership in Tshwane has frustrated the process. Thabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
And a 7.8 magnitude earthquake has struck the southern Philippines, killing at least one person, collapsing buildings and sparking tsunami warnings across the region. Authorities in the Philippines and Indonesia have told people in affected coastal regions to move to higher ground. A powerful 6.1 aftershock hit the area about 2 hours after the first quake. Gold is trading at $4,304.87 an ounce. The rand is at 16.55 to the dollar, 22.08 to the pound, 19.08 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $96.15 a barrel.
And in the traffic in Spruitview, we've got an accident on the N3 North. It happened near Heidelberg Road. It's causing heavy traffic volumes coming out of Leondale Road. Please be on the lookout. There about a 20-minute hold up already. If you are traveling towards the Sandton, do expect delays on the M1 South. This is just as you approach Grayson Drive due to another accident right after Marlborough Drive.
And in your sports, Springbok assistant coach Tony Brown signs for the All Blacks management team from 2028. Kimi Antonelli gets a record 5th consecutive Formula One win. Alexander Zverev wins the French Open, his first Grand Slam win of his career.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg starting at 2 degrees, peaking at 22. Pretoria, 3 and 23. Vereniging, -1 and a high of 23 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. President Cyril Ramaphosa has detailed South Africa's plans to tackle immigration issues, including tightening labour laws and strengthening enforcement.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
We're calling on Joburg to walk the inner city with us. In 702 Josie My Josie, walk the talk. Babize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This Youth Month, 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
commemorates the youth of 1976. Let's walk the talk.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 6 o'clock, you're listening to 702 Breakfast. It is a Monday, the start of the week on the 8th of June, the year of our Lord, 2026. Good morning, 702 Landers. Where are you this morning? Are you in Pasonia? Are you in Glen Vista, Oakdean, Winchester Hills, Vereniging, Mulbarton, Meyerton? Where are you listening to us from? We'd love to know. Welcome one, welcome all. Amogelang Ramila is here on traffic, getting us to where we need to be. Good morning to you, Amo.
Very good morning to you, Bongs. Morning, 702 Lenders.
KGZ starting the clock on the desk. We've got the producers, Rafiwa and Bapelile, taking your calls and helping put the show together. Karabo is also here for social media. Cindy has everything you need to know in the sports news. And, of course, we'll reflect certainly on the Blitzpoker and the French Open tennis. Sfisa Zulu will give you everything you need to know about the president and his speech last night. Muteo, you're here with Business News. Good morning to you.
Morning, Bongs.
On our menu today, we look back on the president's speech last night. Does it sufficiently address the concerns that have been raised around migration? Scopa wants to charge the former RAF Road Accident Fund CEO, Collins Letsoalo. And Bobby Heaney has a new production. It's called Midnight in Paris.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
You can reach us, of course, on 072-702-1702. Send us a voice note. I always love hearing if you are a first-time WhatsApper, voice noter, or, of course, how long you've been listening to the station. So do let us know. We do enjoy welcoming first-time listeners to the show as well. Welcome, everyone. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Was it eventful, Muteo?
No, it was the kind of weekend to sit in.
Stay at home?
Yeah, no, I didn't leave my house at all.
Didn't blink, didn't move.
I was indoors the whole time.
So a couple of years ago, when I turned 50, when my friends and extended family and circle would ask, what present do you want? All I wanted was vouchers from Yappy Chef, right? Because they make fancy kitchen stuff, which I can't afford. So I cobbled together all the vouchers that I was given, and I got a pizza oven. But it's those mobile pizza ovens. You connect it either with coal or using a gas stove, a gas cylinder. And so on Saturday, I had some friends over for a friend's birthday, and pizza was made.
You put it to good use.
I put it to good use. It was absolutely fantastic. You know, you've got that contraption or toy or gadget that you haven't actually had given yourself time to use properly. I did that.
And how was the pizza?
Pizza was absolutely fantastic. My charger grew legs. You know when you host and your charger grows legs? That happened to me. It grew legs. Don't know where it is, but, you know, so long, charger. Amo?
Yeah, I had a good weekend as well. I had a lovely weekend. I was just at home with the kids. We have this thing now of taking long walks in the mornings, especially on Saturday. So just for us to catch up as a family, because during the week everyone is busy with this and that. And so,
Proper bonding moment.
Yeah, we take these long walks, about 8-10 kilometers walks. Then we go back home and we have breakfast. And that's just how our weekend is.
Did you have electricity?
We did.
Many people around the city will complain about power cuts. Mateo, you had an issue?
Yeah, we had our electricity go out at 3 o'clock. I think the power station caught fire around 3 o'clock, but it was fixed around 7:30.
Oh, same day.
I thought that was quite
swift. That's
swift.
really nice. We haven't had water. I live in Lyndhurst. We haven't had water since Thursday. Since Thursday. No water.
Any
Nothing out of the tap. Nothing.
Wow.
There was some maintenance, I think, that was meant to be done, but clearly they're still busy at it. No water. I had to come in this morning earlier than usual and use the showers here at work. Otherwise, there would be a bit of an unusual odor in the studio. How was your weekend? Let us know. 072-702-1702.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
All right, President Cyril Ramaphosa addressing the nation, responding, some would say, at last, to the concerns that have been raised in many communities across the land. We've seen protests against migrants. We've even seen businesses owned by foreigners attacked. And I'm curious about some of what he had to say, and if you heard it and what your response to it was. I'll play you some clips from what the president said last night. Obviously, there are many people who feel hard-pressed by the lack of services and the lack of jobs, the lack of opportunities. And the easy thing is to look at who is coming in and taking those away from us. The president saying there are not nearly enough foreigners in South Africa, migrants, documented or otherwise, to exert the kind of pressure people are complaining about on the system and the services. And yet at the same time, he acknowledges that people are feeling the way that they are and that we do have a problem in terms of who comes into the country and the documentation around it or lack thereof. I want you to have a listen to what he says about people do not have the authority to go around demanding documents from others, not unless you're in law enforcement.
No other person is allowed, for example, to confront someone in the street, in the pathways of our country, to demand proof of identity. We know that South Africans are not xenophobic, as there is no space for xenophobia, for racism, for sexism, for Afrophobia, or any other form of intolerance in South Africa. As communities and as a society, we must not be tempted to join those who want us to turn against people who were not born in South Africa and who are in our midst. We will and must not allow groups to use the legitimate concerns of South Africans to destabilize our country through inciting lawlessness and violence.
Well, he says that clearly communities have concerns, but he also says there are groups who are using those concerns to incite violence, to incite hatred. We as a nation are not xenophobic. People have real concerns, but there are these, what would you call them? Agents provocateurs, Mateo, to sound fancy, who are using those concerns to drive a wedge between ourselves. and those people, particularly from the rest of the continent. It begs the question then, notwithstanding the concerns many people express, is there an invisible hand behind some of these organizations and what it is they are calling for? Is it purely based on the response to what people are feeling and experiencing and saying, or is there an invisible hand? And I caution you to remember, we're now approaching the 5th anniversary of the 2021 July unrest. We are still no clearer as to who the instigators of all of that trouble were. Yes, some foot soldiers were arrested. Yes, some people who tweeted here and there were kind of made to feel uncomfortable. But none of those cases, as far as I can recall, have stuck. And we certainly don't know the people that were pulling the puppet strings, right? 5 years later. And is that invisible hand rearing its ugly head? Ooh, there's a mixture of metaphors, if I ever heard one. But you get the point I'm making. The president, of course, yesterday saying that there will be tough action taken, particularly against businesses who employ people without documents.
We're going to increase the penalties, including imprisonment, for employers who violate our Immigration Act. We cannot have a situation where employers who, after being charged and found guilty of violating our laws, merely pay a fine and continue employing undocumented foreign nationals whom they exploit.
Will all of this go far enough?
Let's walk the talk.
702.
16 after 6 every morning, we have a shout out, and that's to illustrate something that we think you ought to know about, something that's in the news, or just an interesting tidbit of information. So here's one for you, Amo and Mutero. What is the thing that is killing you softly? Something that's draining you. You know you ought not to be doing it, not certainly as much as you may be doing it, and it's taking away some of your joy, but like a moth to a flame, burnt by the fire. What is it? Late night takeaways? Doom scrolling? Can't be Mujala, not at least in your case, the two of you married. What is it? It's killing you slowly, but you won't let go.
Bongani, it's coffee.
Why coffee?
Oh my goodness, it's coffee. So I have iron deficiency, right? And so I think it was last year, I went to see the doctor and they said, okay, let's just get to the point. How does your meals look like? How do your meals look like during the day? What do you eat? And then I mentioned everything, because you can't lie. And my doctor said, honey, you need to stop the coffee. The coffee is eating away your iron.
How many have you had this morning? I'm seeing your little
2.
Starbucks cup. Is that your maximum?
Yeah, if I've had 2 cups, that's it. I can't have more
For the day.
for the day because I can't have my coffee with meals. And because I don't want to be thinking about it too much, I'd rather just have the 2 in the morning, knowing that I'm not going to have any meal closer to the times that I've had the coffee, and I'm done with it. But
And you've kept to that.
Yeah.
See, we're watching you. We're watching you now. You're live on YouTube.
I'm working very hard.
You're live on YouTube. Muteo?
I should be getting more sleep in, Bongani, but I think of late I've been watching very old movies, having a rematch with the movies I watched in my youth, and I'm finding more things that I missed back then. That means I'm sleeping
a lot later than you should.
later than I should be. I wanted to watch Fight Club yesterday.
Oh, okay.
But it was 10
I'll forgive
p.m.
you.
and I was like,
I'll forgive you. For Fight Club. For Fight Club, I'll forgive you. What's that one thing that's killing you slowly, draining you, but you still won't let it go? Mojalo, late night takeaways? Online shopping? Is Temu or Shein killing you softly? Hours lost to doom scrolling. Send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072 702 1702. We'll tell you why we're asking. Coming up.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
18 after 6, Mattel, you've got a question of your own?
Speaking about Timu and Shein, Bongani, do you still shop the old-fashioned way? Do you want to be given the sizes, try the shoes on, try your sizes on, and go to the till?
Yep.
Or are you someone who clears their cart every month more than you used to?
No, I try not to have a cart. And if I do have one, maybe once every 3-4 months.
Oh, so you're not a regular online shopper?
No. I want to be in the store. I want to touch. I want to look. I want to smell. I want a sense of what the shop looks like.
Kyk wat doen die blazer?
Ah, cake for 20 blazer. Yeah, but I like fitting things.
Yeah.
I like to fit and see how it's going to look on me. The problem with online shopping is that if you want, I like returning stuff.
Yeah, it's a hit and miss as
You
well.
can't, it's difficult to return and get the correct size or, so I'd rather do that at the main store. Walk in.
You? What's your preference?
No, still not online. I shop very quickly because by the time I know what I'm looking for.
And there he was judging me, right? There he was judging, but I totally get it. Like I want to spend as little time in the shop.
Why? What are you doing in the shop then?
To buy. I know I'm here for.
If you're there for a shirt, you're there for a shirt.
Guys.
It's the experience. You're seeing another shirt that would look nice on you. You want to try it on and see how it look. If it doesn't look nice, we would
not have a happy marriage.
702.
Weather.
For all sorts of reasons. It's 20 after 6. What weather can you expect on this Monday? Fine day in Gauteng, a little warmer than we saw at the end of last week. Joburg, temperatures peaking at 22 degrees. 23 for Pretoria and for Eniging. That's the same for Mbombela and Durban, all peaking at 23 degrees. Durban, as I say, is 23. Bloemfontein, 19. Mahikeng, 24. Gqeberha, 20. East London, 22.
EWN Traffic.
20 after 6, this EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Off to a very busy start, Bongani. We've got an accident on the M1 South. This one happened near Grayston Drive in the Sandton area. Delays from Marlborough Drive. There's also an accident in Midrand along the N1 North right after Allendale Road. It's causing heavy delays. If you are leaving Spruit View at this particular moment, you might want to avoid the N3 North. There's a major accident there. It happened right near Heidelberg Road, already causing about a 20-minute hold up coming out of Leondale Road. Please try to use the R59 North through Alberton if you want to avoid that scene. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Things people stress about in traffic. Number 49. What's that random warning light that keeps popping up on my car's dashboard? Oh, the mystery. Well, with the Outsurance pointsman on your route, at least the traffic is one less thing to stress about. The Outsurance pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
A bigger and better national lottery is here. Catch live draws every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday on ETV and SABC at 9 p.m. Plus all your favorite games, Lotto, Powerball, Daily Lotto, Match Play, E-Instant and Scratch Cards. Play online at retailers or on your banking apps. The National Lottery, Mo Play, Mo Chances, Mo Millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by CZEC High.
Let's hear from Al, owner of Johnson's Cable, why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance.
I thought it was going to be difficult to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Switching was so quick and easy. I'm happy with the premium that I'm paying now.
For electrical, tradesman services, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
The world's best male and female paddle players are coming to South Africa. The historic Premier Paddle Pretoria P1 will be at Sunbet Arena Times Square from 26 July to the 2nd of August. Expect world-class action, unbelievable energy, premium hospitality, and an atmosphere unlike anything South African sport has seen before. This is Africa's biggest paddle tournament ever, and tickets are selling fast. Don't miss your chance to witness the sport's biggest stars in South Africa. Get your tickets now at primemediaplus.com.
In a world continually evolving, Africa is adapting, innovating, and finding new pathways for growth. R&B Africa Focus back for a 5th season to unpack conversations shaping the continent right now. So every week on 702, the award-winning journalist Crystal Alderson takes a closer look at influential economies, emerging opportunities across Africa with R&B experts and regional voices. And you can catch R&B Africa Focus Tuesday on 702 Afternoon Drive with John Pullman, and it's on Thursday on 702 Breakfast with me, Bongani Bingwa. Make sure you watch the in-depth video series with episodes released weekly on Prime Media Plus. RMB, a leading African corporate and investment bank.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the
Hey,
talk.
morning, box of Reinforced Loras. Bongani, we'd like to thank the president for the address. However, he lacked details in saying, I'm deploying extra soldiers to go and assist in my border. I'm deploying extra Home Affairs officials to go station in Lokshin somewhere there so that they can assist with the process. And also, Bongani, the bribery for the dispute Officer Thongwani. I would like to know if the person who bribed Officer Thongwani, are they legal and are they documented? If not, they should be arrested also for bribing a police officer. Mr. Sneyman for exposing the corruption. If he has hired an undocumented person, he must be arrested also for hiring an undocumented person. That's where we should start. And thank you, Mr. President, for addressing, even though you didn't go to the core of it. Thank you, Bongani.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
25 after 6, things you need to know at this hour. On this day in 2009, the United Nations marked the first official World Oceans Day. It's obviously to celebrate the world's oceans, but also raising awareness about water pollution, overfishing, and growing threats to marine life. It's now observed globally every year as a reminder of how vital the ocean is to life on Earth. The ocean, did you know, produces at least half of our oxygen and absorbs about 30% of human carbon dioxide emissions, helping regulate the globe's climate. And therefore, it's one of the most powerful systems to sustain life as we know it. Remember those unpaid e-toll bills sitting in your inbox? I think for many people over the recent years, that's about the only letter you get in your mail, is it not? E-toll bills. Well, you can delete them. You can tear them up. Cabinet approving the writing off of all outstanding and unpaid e-toll debt, meaning the South African National Roads Agency will stop pursuing motorists for historical e-toll payments. It was introduced to help fund upgrades to Gauteng's freeway network, and the system has faced widespread opposition and low compliance from road users. It was a D-Day anniversary event in Normandy yesterday. U.S. Defense Secretary, or as he now calls himself, the Secretary of War, criticizing European migration policies, saying that parts of that continent are facing an invasion through irregular migration. A movie that was all about catching ghosts. It was a cultural phenomenon 40 years ago. On this day, 1984, Ghostbusters hit cinemas across the U.S. The comedy starred Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold Ramis as out-of-work professors who turned ghost hunting into a business in New York City. And what started as a money-making scheme quickly became a fight to save the city from a supernatural disaster. There's something strange in the neighborhood. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Oh, all right. On this day, in 1996, the Fugees topping the charts with Killing Me Softly, a cover of a song most famously made by Roberta Flack. They gave their spin to it. It was a global hit, a cultural moment that still resonates to this day. Killing Me Softly. What's killing you softly? Right? What is telling your whole life? Softly.
With his song.
Yo.
This is
one time.
702.
The newspapers.
Fisa, what's killing you softly?
I'll tell you what's killing thousands of football fans softly from across world countries competing at this month's FIFA World Cup in the US. It is that they're struggling to secure visas, with some unable to attend the FIFA World Cup despite already buying tickets. So the BBC did a whole research, and it spoke to some people, including one Abdullah Adnan from Iraq, who's a football supporter. He spent an equivalent of 34,000 Rand on match tickets and a travel in a bid to obtain a US visa, only to be turned away. So the US consular services in Iraq were suspended following regional security concerns, forcing him to seek alternatives abroad. And the BBC says that it found that fans from more than a quarter of the 48 qualified nations face travel bans, visa restrictions, or high rejection rates. And citizens from Haiti, Iran, Senegal, and Ivory Coast are among those who are affected due to tighter U.S. immigration policies.
Gosh, I wonder if they'll get refunds for the tickets they purchased. The front page of The Citizen has a picture of a plane from the 2026 South African Air Force Museum Air Show that happened in Valhalla in Pretoria. The Sowetan inside insurers scam targeting pensioners. The Business Day going big with the president's address last night around the migration issue. President vowing action over illegal migration.
EWN Business.
Nteo wants to know, do we still shop the old-fashioned way, going from store to store, trying on different items, clothes perhaps, before paying at the till? Or are we more online shoppers, much more than we visit physical stores? What prompts the question? This EWN Business, of course, brought to you by Volvo. Experience the best of both worlds with plug-in hybrids, electric when you want it, and fuel when you need it.
I'm asking the question, Bongani, because South African fashion retailer, the Foschini Group, shocked investors on Friday, saying it will aggressively cut stores. The Foschini Group reported a 33.5% drop in full-year profit as peak season sales missed targets in South Africa and other operations in the UK and Australia. Now, the company says online sales surpassed store sales in the past year as its online store platform Bash attracted more shoppers. TFG says there's constrained consumer spending at the moment, with consumers clutching to every cent as fuel and electricity prices put pressure on households. The retail group owns retail stores in different segments, including Sports Scene, Choreograph, Foschini, Total Sports, and Jet, amongst others. The company says it closed more stores than it opened in the past year. The Foschini Group opened 233 outlets while closing 242 loss-making locations. In South Africa, it plans to close around 100 stores in the next year, with another 300 earmarked for closure. Its CEO, Anthony Thunstrom, told investors that the Foschini Group's recent acquisition-driven expansion had increased complexity and diluted returns in a very, very weak market.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, more store closures. Not always a good thing to see, hey?
No, not at all.
They had a huge store at Melrose Arch. That's now closed, I've noticed.
Is it not there anymore?
Yeah, no, it's gone. It's gone. Where's the rand?
16 Rand 54 against the US dollar, holding on to very marginal gains this morning. 19.07 against the euro, 22 Rand 6 cents against the British pound. Price of gold, $4,316 an ounce, or platinum is down 0.5% at $1,767. Brent crude now at $96 a barrel. It's up 4% this morning. More business after 7.
Relax. You're okay. Your new Volvo plug-in hybrid will get you there and back again, and there again, and back again. Because you're at least 80 kilometers of electric range away from having to worry about petrol or the battery, which comes with an 8-year warranty. But it will keep you going for much, much longer than that. Test drive a Volvo plug-in hybrid.
Straight to the news desk we go. Swiss Zulu, what do you have at this hour?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The Hawks say they will not be deterred from cracking down on drug trafficking networks after a major bust at a Durban harbour. Investigators intercepted 2 excavators during inspection over the weekend, uncovering 90 blocks of suspected cocaine weighing 90 kilograms. The discovery, worth an estimated street value of 36 million rand, was made during routine checks. Hawks spokesperson Katlego Mogale says they will secure South Africa's borders at all costs.
No arrests have been made at this stage and the matter remains under investigation. The acting provincial head, Brigadier Zenobia Mulligan, applauded the multidisciplinary team for their alertness and dedication. The acting provincial head stated that the DPCI remains committed to disrupting transnational drug trafficking networks and safeguarding South Africa's ports of entry from organized criminal activities.
Kleinfontein's board of directors say they are working on improving service delivery in the whites-only enclave following complaints by residents. About 100 of them met with the political leadership of the Tshwane municipality over the weekend, expressing frustration with the management of Kleinfontein, saying they would prefer to pay their rates and taxes directly to the city of Tshwane. Community Representative Rian Genis says he understands their frustrations.
Look, we're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and there's definitely much that we can improve on. The fact of the matter is that we have been trying to formalize, and we've had a lot of belligerence from the unhappy people. And you saw how they treated my questions tonight, is they talk over you, they shout at you. There's a lot of emotions.
The Good Party's mayoral candidate for Cape Town, Brett Heron, says he has a plan to deal with the metro's high rate of inequality. Heron's candidacy was announced yesterday at a packed community hall in Westbank. He will be representing both the Good Party and Rise Mzansi, who have announced a plan for joint candidates for the upcoming local government elections. The parties want to loosen the DA's two-decade grip in Cape Town. Heron says the legacy of apartheid is still prevalent in the metro.
And we are free, legally speaking, from apartheid, but we are not free from the living conditions of apartheid. So the challenge that I accept from Songezo is to bring Cape Town back to that spirit, to that fighting spirit for a free South Africa where everybody will succeed.
And the death toll has risen to 3 in the Philippines after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake. The quake struck off the coast of General Santos City in Mindanao, the Philippines' main southern island. Police say 5 people have also been injured in the quake, and several countries in the region, including the Philippines, Indonesia and Japan, issued tsunami warnings, but most have now been lifted. A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of -1 and 2 degrees, peaking at highs between 22 and 23.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy traffic volumes along the N3 North leaving the Spruitview area. This is due to a major accident seen right near Heidelberg Road, about a 20-minute hold up there. There's also queuing traffic on the N17 West after the R23 turnoff that's due to roadworks.
The top story this hour, the Hawks say they will not be deterred from cracking down on drug trafficking networks after a major bust in Durban.
702 salutes the youth of 1976
who dared to walk the talk
so many things
and change the course of history forever.
Every great business starts with a problem, one you may have experienced yourself. Nedbank Business Ignite 2026 is looking for entrepreneurs who've turned that pain into purpose and built solutions that truly make a difference. So if your business is generating between 1 million rand and 20 million rand, you could get the funding, mentorship and support you need to grow with Nedbank as your partner, plus access to Simply Biz to help you scale sustainably. So if you're solving real problems and ready to take your business further, visit igniteyourbusiness.co.za or primemediaplus.com and enter today.
Doing your famous through meetings, in traffic, at the store. Don't let seasonal hay fever get in the way of a better you. Unite against allergies with Demazin once a day, providing 24-hour non-sedating relief from symptoms like a runny nose, sneezing and itchy red eyes. Demazin gets it done. Speak to your pharmacist today about Demazin once a day.
Day 42 in my new kitchen. I'm currently staring at the seamless handle profiles and integrated LED lighting of this masterpiece of modern architecture. My husband thinks I'm making a sandwich, but I'm just running my hands along the porcelain countertops for the 10th time today. I've even started speaking exclusively in a British accent to match the opulence. For a bespoke culinary space, visit Moremi Kitchens today at moremikitchens.co.za.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? Brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer. Send us any information you may have heard that piqued your interest during the show. For that, you win 1,000 Rand. WhatsApp us your name and that answer to 072 702 1702. Later, someone else will ask a question to get to your answer, and for their troubles, they'll win 2,000 Rand. Now, you always stand a better chance of being selected if you've SMS'd out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. So do it now. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
702
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongs. Good morning, Bongs.
One thing that I really wanted to move away from me is alcohol. Alcohol is killing me slowly. Alcohol, alcohol, alcohol. No go here in Captain Park. Hey, morning, Bongani and team. Bongs. Here, beside Mjolo, the Red Bull is gonna kill me. The Red Bull is gonna finish me. Dead. I don't drink anything else. When I feel like drinking something, I would, even if I maybe have a Coke, just after that Coke, the Red Bull says, you forgot me. Oh, this thing can't. Yo, if somebody can help out there, Bongs, yo, what can I do? What can I replace this thing with? It's gonna kill me. This is my death. This is my death. AB, on the street, board driver.
Morning team, this is Kokezo here from Soshanguve. I wanna send a special one to Bapile Sambo. One thing that's killing me slowly is cigarettes, man. You know, I've been able to quit almost everything except for those little white sticks. I even went as far as buying Alan Carr's book, Easy Way to Stop Smoking, but I still couldn't quit smoking. Sure.
Good morning, 702 Landers. Happy New Week. What is killing me slowly? Hey, it's TikTok, guys. TikTok. You know what? Every night I'll tell myself that I'll go to bed by 9. But hours later, 12, I'm still scrolling. Mampo in Boxburg.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. For me, what's killing me softly is football. Like, I wish in my next life I'm as clueless about football as most people are. Like, I really envy people who are clueless about football, because I realize how much this thing takes from me emotionally. You know, when I thought Pirates was gonna bottle the league, I was stressed. You know, every time Barcelona plays against Real Madrid, I have to now, I can't take having to lose against them. So now I'm way too invested in this thing.
I think there's many a football fan who would agree with you. We're asking a very simple question. This, of course, as we remember the Fugees' rendition of Killing Me Softly. What's that thing that's killing you softly? You know it's hurting you, but you can't let go. I was hoping for things like online shopping or doom scrolling. But gosh, alcohol, Red Bull, cigarettes, those are really serious things. Be careful with those. Get advice, get help if you need.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, a very good morning to you. It's a Monday morning. That obviously always means a weekend full of sports.
Yeah. And I kind of was like, it's going to be quiet going into the World Cup, but it truly was. But overnight, SA Rugby has confirmed that Tony Brown will be the All Blacks assistant coach from 2028 on a 2-year deal. Brown's currently the assistant to Rassie Erasmus.
Ooh, who's going to take all our secrets.
Yeah. The Blitzboks finished 4th in Bordeaux, but still defend their World Championship title, with Tristan Lades named Player of the Year, having scored 124 points in 9 events, including 16 tries. The United Rugby Championship final between the Bulls and Leinster will be played at Dublin's Croke Park on Friday, the 19th of June. Leinster, the highest-ranked team, gets the home ground advantage in a repeat of last year's final. FIFA World Cup starts Thursday. Denmark's friendly with Ukraine was abandoned after Christian Eriksen collapsed in the 65th minute. He was able to walk off the field as Denmark led 2-1 at the time. Eriksen suffered cardiac arrest during a match at Euro 2021. Lionel Messi was benched in Argentina's 2-0 win over Honduras yesterday. In Formula One, a 5th win in a row for Kimi Antonelli. Victory in Monaco ahead of Hamilton and Hajar to go 66 points clear at the top of the driver standings.
It's been an incredible weekend, incredible race, and it was one of those days where, we had so incredible pace, and it was just coming all so natural, and the car was feeling incredible, and it just was giving me the confidence to push, so it was a very enjoyable day.
Hamilton equaled Ayrton Senna's record of 8 Monaco podiums. Russell finished 13. Leclerc crashed out. In tennis, Alexander Zverev finally won a Grand Slam, needing 5 sets to beat Flavio Cobolli. 6-1, 4-6, 6-4, 6-7 and 6-1 in the French Open final. Zverev admits he struggled mentally.
I was very tightened up. I was very, emotional. I was a bit unstable also in the 4th set, but And I actually think that the cramps helped me in a way. I think that I let go. I kind of hit my shots a bit more and just let go. Then, of course, the fifth set went my way, and I'm happy about that and happy to be sitting next to this beautiful trophy for the first time.
The women's title on Saturday won by Mira Andreeva. And in cricket, England thrashing New Zealand by 115 runs in the first test. Man of the match, Ollie Robinson, took 7 wickets for the match. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
You know when your people are giving their best, not because they're pushed or pressured, but because they feel supported. And support is making sure they're covered. So if something happens, they can get the care they need. Flexicare Health Insurance makes it simple for every business to protect their people with affordable health cover. You care. We cover. For a tailored Flexicare quote, speak to your financial advisor today. Flexicare is underwritten by ANG, a licensed non-life insurer and FSP, and administered by Discovery Health, a licensed FSP.
Have you heard of the respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV? Most parents haven't, even though 2 out of 3 babies will be infected by it before their first birthday. For most babies, RSV causes mild cold-like symptoms, but for some of them it can get worse and lead to bronchitis or even pneumonia, which might require a trip to the doctor or even lead to hospitalization. Sanofi is working to support families during RSV season by sharing guidance on simple preventative steps to help keep your baby safe.
Mzansi, Akwele asked, and you chose. The brand new delicious mango sparkling flavor is here. And now it's time to win. Aquila is giving away grocery vouchers and airtime every day. Plus, you could win one of 2 Suzuki Swift cars. To enter, get your Aquila Mzansi Mango in store and find the unique code under the cap. Sunshine, joy, and refreshment in a bottle. That's the new Aquila Mzansi Mango. T's and C's apply.
What if the problem you faced became the business that changed everything? That's what Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 is all about. With this year's theme, My Pain, My Purpose, My Solution. So we're calling on small businesses that turned real challenges into powerful ideas. You could win 200,000 Rand in cash, plus mentorship, business support, and tools to help you grow sustainably. Enter the Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 now at primemediaplus.com. or igniteyourbusiness.co.za. Nedbank, see money differently. An authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Hello, my name is Lechuk Chula Mahlangu. I'm 18 years old. When I grow up, I want to become a neurosurgeon. I learned at Eden College, and I'm very excited to play the Whiz Quiz with Uncle Bongani.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
13 minutes to 7. The CWN Traffic brought to you by Citroen. Visit your nearest dealership this June. Test drive or purchase any Citroen and stand to win an all expenses paid world-class rugby experience to South Africa versus New Zealand on the 5th of September. T's and C's apply. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we do have hectic delays on the N3 North. This is between Harderbeck Road and the Leondale Road exit. That's due to a major accident scene. If you are leaving Leondale or even Spruit View, please try to use the R59 North. Traffic is flowing along that route. While traveling on the N3 North, delays between the Elands interchange and the Geldenhuys turnoff roadworks are causing these delays. There's also queuing traffic along the M1 South. That's between the Baklu interchange and Grayston Drive due to another accident scene. I'll have more traffic updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Good morning, Mzansi. It's a beautiful Wednesday. It's Thursday.
No.
TGIF, am I right? Citroen Super Saturday is back. Yes. Test drive or buy any Citroen and stand to win a world-class rugby experience. South Africa versus New Zealand, 5 September. Double your entries with the all-new Citroen Basalt from 354,900 Rand up to 40,000 Rand deal assist. Book at citroen.co.za. Runs till 30 June. T's and C's apply.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9, featuring Development Bank of South Africa. The Chief Internal Auditor, Boitumelo Mojapelo, will be in conversation with us. We do this on Wednesdays to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporate That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
We could tell you we're the best bank in Africa, but if you're a CEO or CFO looking to scale, you'll want the numbers. Like that 350 of Africa's corporates bank with us, that 80% of its billion-dollar corporates trust us with their business, and that our systems process 300 million rand a minute. That's 430 billion rand every day. Grow with the bank that does big numbers. Standard Bank Corporate and Investment Banking. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Join us.
Let's walk.
The XXL Savings Championship is here. And with Checkers, everyone can save. Get deals like Dew Fresh Long Life Milk, a 1-litre 6-pack for $99.99. Powerade Sports Drink, a 500ml 6-pack for $69.99. Save 25 Rand. And Finish Dishwasher Tablets, 45 to 56 per pack for $229.99 each. Save 60 Rand. Valid until 14 June, only at Checkers.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Someone killing me soft is our president, Ramaphosa. Last night, he said nothing. Nothing. He said everything that he's been saying all along for the last many years he's been a president. Last night, he was worse.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. Sam here from Joburg. We hear the president 100%. However, the law enforcement, there is a lot of corruption that is happening there. Whenever they stop undocumented migrants, they take briberies. So how do we solve that? Because the law does not apply there in terms of the law enforcement. I mean, bribery, corruption is the biggest issue. Thanks, Sam from Joburg.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many layers to how this thing needs to be addressed and dealt with. One of the points that really got me was the president saying that, South Africans are not allowed to take the law into their own hands. And weren't we reporting just a week or so ago about people being pulled out of buses and public transport by taxi operators who, again, take the law into their own? This is nothing new. We've seen this movie before.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
But we'll speak to an international relations just coming up on the president's address last night. Let's play the Whiz Quiz, though. Letuk Tula goes to Eden College, 13 years old, wants to be a neurosurgeon later on in life. Letuk Tula, what made you think about being a neurosurgeon? Why do you want to be that kind of doctor?
Yes, I want to help people in need, and it's a really fun job, I think.
All right, well, good luck to you, and good luck with the Whiz Quiz this morning. KG, start the clock. Which planet in our solar system is known as the red planet?
Mars.
Correct. The Lion King, what is the name of the lion cub who becomes a king?
Mufasa.
Simba. Of what does the outer layer of a tooth consist? Enamel or plaque?
Enamel.
Correct. True or false? The Olympic flag has 5 rings on a blue background.
True.
It's false. What do we call the part of a needle through which the thread goes? Is it the eye or the mouth?
The eye.
Correct. In fairy tales, what was the name of Hansel's sister?
Pass.
Gretel. According to the saying, if it's very quiet, one can hear a what drop?
A water drop.
A pin. True or false? Grain with large yellow kernels on a cob is called wheat.
True.
It's false. It's called maize. It's maize we were looking for there. It's maize we were looking for. The Olympic flag, of course, does have those rings, but on a white background. And it's Simba that becomes the king in The Lion King. So, bit of a rough one there for you, Letuk Tula. Not quite as well as I think you might have hoped you would do. 300 Rand nonetheless is not to be sneezed at. It is some good money. At least you walk away with that in today's Whiz Quiz.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
7 to 7. We told you last week of plans to deploy envoys around the world and to some countries on the continent to reassure them of South Africa's position when it comes to growing anti-foreign sentiment in South Africa. The president yesterday, in a speech outlining what he also aims to do politically and from a security point of view. Frustration, obviously, over unemployment, crime, pressure on public services have fueled a growing anti-immigrant sentiment in many communities. We've seen protests across the country. The president acknowledging that South Africans have legitimate concerns, but cautioned against blaming migrants for all our woes. Professor Andre Thomashausen is an international relations expert who joins us now on the show. Thank you for your time. Great to have you with us this morning.
Good morning, Bongani. Good morning, listeners.
Your reflections broadly on what the president had to say last night.
Well, it was another one of his sermons, basically, full of good intentions and full of truisms, but disconnected from reality. The reality is we do not have the law enforcement capacities. The police, the defense force are stretched over their limits. So many police vehicles are not serviceable. Most of the army trucks are broken, and many stations don't have funds for petrol. So it will not work. We have realistically at least 7 million undocumented or illegal migrants in South Africa. Many of them have absolutely nothing to do with Africa. They're from far away, 8,000 kilometers away, Somalia, Sudan, and other places in crisis. They're actually not African people. They're
from
Semite
Somalia and
people.
Sudan? What do you mean? Just explain.
Well, we have huge immigration flows from Somalia. They're not African people. They're Semite people. They actually show absolutely no understanding for African culture. And they're here on so-called study permits, or they're here for years on asylum seeker provisional 3-month permits, which get re-stamped every 3 months. And it costs a few $100 to get them re-stamped. And this is the anger in the streets.
All right, Prof, I was curious as to why you would say Somalians and Sudanese people are not African when, of course, their countries are on this continent. I mean,
sure, just by being on this continent doesn't make you African. So they are deeply committed Islamic people. They do not believe in African traditions. Their culture is actually at the origin, the inventor of slavery. So why must we show solidarity to people that have so many other Muslim peoples? There's 1 billion Muslim people in the world. They will not be admitted in Saudi Arabia. They will not be admitted in other Muslim countries. They will not be admitted in Indonesia. So why must we help them? And this is the grave concern that parents, South African parents, find their little kids in a primary school class with over 100 children in one class with one teacher. It's an unsustainable situation.
Whilst, of course, we can agree about service delivery challenges and where people are frustrated and why people are frustrated in terms of the pressures they feel come from outside. I think framing it as, these are Muslim people, these are people who have a different cultural or even religious tradition doesn't really help us in terms of the actual issues we are dealing with in South Africa at the moment, does it, surely?
It explains the tension because they have very different traditions. They completely deny the principle of gender equality. So, for instance, places like Fordsburg, original South African residents of Fordsburg are now scared to walk the streets. It's not going to be mended by good wishes and good principles. The tensions will continue to rise, just like they are rising in other countries in Europe that are suddenly faced with massive migration flows, mostly from Muslim countries where the living conditions have become unbearable. This is why people run away. But the solution is not to try and help them where we can't even help our own people.
Right, Professor Andre Thomas Hosen joining us there, explaining it as he does. I will say, Prof, I don't think I agree with all of your assessment and your analysis, certainly in terms of the origins of the problem. Of course, there are many people in South Africa at the moment from the countries you've mentioned. I don't quite think that their culture or religion is the issue of concern here, because I think many South Africans will say that South Africa has been overrun by migrants from many countries, and whatever their origin in terms of culture or religion, that isn't the issue. The issue is how many people are here who are undocumented, the corruption and the failures of the system that allow people to come into South Africa. I don't think quite the challenge is their religion or their culture.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
The big interview focuses on Parliament. The Standing Committee on Public Accounts, SCOPA, wants to charge the former CEO of the Road Accident Fund, and they want to do so criminally. We're going to be speaking to Songezo Zibi, who is, of course, the chairperson of SCOPA. They've tried to get him to appear before Parliament to account on what has gone wrong at the Road Accident Fund. Remember, of course, 4 billion rand of your money goes to the RAF every single month. We need some accountability as to how that money is being spent. He'll explain after this Eyewitness News, brought to you by Khalix. Khalix, for the businessman who knows what he wants.
This is EWN.
The president sends a stern warning to employers breaking immigration laws.
We're going to increase the penalties, including imprisonment, for employers who violate our Immigration Act.
And residents in the whites-only Kleinfontein community continue to fight for formalization. Good morning, I am Siso Zulu. President Cyril Ramaphosa has vowed immigration laws will be tightened in the country, including tougher sanctions for companies employing undocumented foreign nationals. Ramaphosa spoke about immigration issues facing South Africa during a televised address last night. He says companies that employ undocumented people do so to exploit them and pay them below the country's approved minimum wage. At the same time, Ramaphosa says these employers are also undermining government's efforts to create decent work for South Africans.
We're going to increase the penalties, including imprisonment, for employers who violate our Immigration Act. We cannot have a situation where employers who, after being charged and found guilty of violating our laws, merely pay a fine and continue employing undocumented foreign nationals whom they exploit.
Meanwhile, some South African informal traders have expressed feeling excluded in their own communities due to the rise of businesses owned by foreign nationals. Ramaphosa says this issue is also being addressed by government.
Many communities have expressed anger about the number of foreign nationals running spaza shops, trading stores and other informal outlets. They argue that foreign enterprises are squeezing South Africans from operating in these markets in their own communities. Government has a responsibility to support local enterprise.
The president's address has received mixed reaction from some political parties who've weighed in. And the president's address, of course, comes ahead of the March and March organization, which has set a 30 June deadline for demonstrations against undocumented foreign nationals. Nkosikhona Malingamnisi takes a look.
The DA has welcomed the president's speech, with its leader Jordan Hill-Lewis backing Ramaphosa's message that South Africa's economic crisis stems from failure to grow jobs, not foreign nationals. Hill-Lewis says immigration laws must be enforced by the state, not vigilantes or politicians chasing votes. The DA, which looks after the Home Affairs portfolio, says it will support every lawful effort in the GNU to restore order, secure the borders and fix the broken systems that have allowed illegal migration to become a source of fear and frustration. But Action SA is unimpressed with party president Herman Mashaba dismissing the address as weak and reactionary. He's accused Ramaphosa of recycling failed ANC talking points. He says only mass deportations and strong enforcement will solve the immigration crisis. Meanwhile, government insists the June 30 deadline set by anti-illegal migration groups will not be marked by violence, with law enforcement on standby. Nkosikhona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
Some residents in the whites-only enclave of Kleinfontein say they are frustrated with the slow pace of formalizing the settlement. In 2024, the Gauteng High Court declared Kleinfontein as an illegal township due to its lack of formal residential zoning and building approvals. About 100 residents there recently held a community meeting with the city of Tshwane to discuss the process of the area being formalized. Tabiso Goba reports.
The community meeting was held at a wedding venue in Bronkhorstspruit, a few minutes from Kleinfontein. Organizers of the meeting say the Kleinfontein leadership was not willing to avail the community hall as they were against the gathering. Residents who attended the meeting expressed frustration with the Kleinfontein governance system and want to be absorbed into the Tshwane municipality. Kleinfontein chairperson Rian Genis says the meeting was premature.
We were advised by the lawyers of Tshwane and Kleinfontein that this is sub judice, the issues are sub judice, and we are very close to a settlement, so it's better not to now risk anything.
Genis says the Kleinfontein leadership has for many years been working to get the area formalized. However, administrative red tape and the constant changing of political leadership in Tshwane has frustrated the process. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
And explosions have been reported in 3 cities in Iran, where the Israeli army says it has struck sites in west and central Iran. Escalation in a war started by the US and Israel in February. The violence has raised questions about the future of a ceasefire agreed by Tehran and Washington in April. Iran says it attacked Israel last night because of its strikes on parts of Lebanon's capital, Beirut, over the weekend. Gold is trading at $4,311.39 an ounce. The rand is at 16.57 to the dollar, 22.10 to the pound, 19.11 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $96.68 a barrel.
Traffic remains heavily backed up on the M1 South. This is between the Baklu interchange and Grayston Drive. That's due to a major accident scene. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic along Catherine Street approaching Grayston Drive. That's due to peak time delays as well.
And in your sport, Denmark's Christian Eriksen collapses on the field again as the friendly with Ukraine is abandoned. The All Blacks appoint current Bok assistant coach Tony Brown as their assistant after the World Cup. Kimi Antonelli, the youngest to win a Monaco Grand Prix as Hamilton equals Senna's podium record. And Alexander Zverev wins the French Open, his first Grand Slam win of his career.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg is at a low of 2 degrees, peaking at 22. Pretoria, 3 and 23. Vereeniging, -1 and a high of 23 degrees. The top story in EW and the SAWA. President Cyril Ramaphosa has vowed immigration laws will be tightened in the country, including tougher sanctions for companies employing undocumented foreign nationals.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Improve your business confidence by dressing the part with Khaliks. There you'll discover comprehensive collections of business suits, the very best value for money, the finest quality and impeccable service. So visit Khaliks today and indulge in all the latest styles and winter warm comfort. Plus, if you trade in your old suit, you'll get 30% off your brand new suit and a boost in confidence. Only at Khaliks, for the businessman who knows what he wants. T's and C's apply.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy that connects us all.
That's what makes this one so special.
In 702, Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the city of Johannesburg. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This youth month, 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
Commemorate the youth of 1976. Let's walk the talk. This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Walking the talk indeed, 7 minutes after 7 o'clock. I just want to deal with a couple of issues that were raised in that last interview. Firstly, to give you a background, Professor Andre Thomashausen is a well-known scholar, Professor Emeritus of International and Comparative Law at UNISA. So he's got a lot of expertise as a media commentator, particularly providing analysis on South Africa's relations, not only with the rest of the continent, but indeed globally. So we thought, in light of the president sending envoys to the rest of the continent, saying that we are not xenophobic as a country, and the steps that he announced that would be taken to deal with the migration concerns expressed by many South Africans, whether from a security point of view or politically or even diplomatically, let's have him on the line. Now, to be clear, Stats SA's figures, for example, as far as the number of migrants in South Africa, somewhere between 2.4 and 3 million. There are of many persuasions in terms of countries of origin. And yes, Africa is a diverse place in terms of our traditions, our religions, our cultures. You cannot paint all of us as Africans with the same brush. We are the most diverse continent on the planet. So of course people will have different traditions and cultures and religions, but I think to frame the problem as being a problem of Muslim migrants, to come up with the numbers and the figures that Professor did, I'm afraid those are not borne out by the facts. So I just wanted to clear that. Having said so, though, do you think the president went far enough in terms of the solutions he's proposing to address this problem? Let us know.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
A number of people, of course, will mention corruption, particularly within the South African police services, as one of the issues that we have to deal with, whether you're dealing with migration or other crimes in South Africa. And there's a video that's gone viral. It was filmed, we understand, near Diepsloot in Johannesburg, and it shows a local South African who says he employs people who he argues were forced to offer a police officer a bribe. And so he goes to where this money was taken, allegedly from one of his employees, and he confronts the officer and captures the moment on video, and it's gone viral. Have a listen to their exchange.
Can I have my 2,000 Rand back, please? My 2,000 Rand I want back. My 2,000 Rand I want back. The money that I gave now, 2,000 Rand for this gentleman here. This lady here took 2,000 Rand from my friend, somebody who works for me. Can I have my money back, please? Okay, you don't know anything, but you took the money. Can I have 2,000 Rand from you? Please give it to me now, or else I'll put you on Facebook. Give it to me. Thank you very much. From my guy. Hey, how come you give me the 2,000 Rand now? You guys are all taking bribes here.
So the officer, identified as Constable M. Poshane, has apologized, returned the money. Apparently she insisted on this bribe from one of this man's employees, who then confronts him and asks for the money back. SAP's management have commented on this. Lieutenant General Tommy Mtombeni saying that an urgent disciplinary investigation would be initiated on the officer.
We have since identified the police official who is involved, and the complainant, I will say, have come for, and we have still to process the issue of obtaining the statement, and out of that, we'll deal with the process of criminal cases, but departmental, of course, we're going to ensure that we make it tick. I have since spoken to the commander for public order policing in Johannesburg, and where I have directed and also given some of the information. We are still saying to the community, this typical type of actions is really helping because the people who are supposed to safeguard the community or to ensure that they serve the community.
All right, of course, it's a tale of two presidents. We had our president addressing the nation last night, but I want to bring your attention to the latest debacle featuring the US President Donald Trump, who was interviewed on a television news program from the news channel NBC News, and the program is called Meet the Press. The presenter, one Kristen Welker, interviewing US President Donald Trump. And it starts off with claims, of course, around what's unfolding in California in a primary election, but the reference is also made to the disputed election of 2020 by Donald Trump without evidence. And she presses him for the evidence for what he suggests, and eventually he walks out. But have a listen to part of their exchange.
The election was rigged. It was a dirty election. And it's happening again right now in California.
Never presented evidence.
Happening right now in California. Right now, it's look at what's happening in California.
To that?
It's
the
4
Republicans
days.
Are doing well in
California. It's no, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days, and they aren't even close to coming up with.
That's how they count
You know why they're doing that? Because they're cheating on the election.
What? Do you have evidence to support
All I have to do is look. All I have to do is look.
That's not evidence.
And I listen to people, and let's see what happens.
But sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they count the votes in California.
Do you think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a winner?
State and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote in California.
They're crooked, just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked.
So he goes after the journalist as she continues to press him on the evidence for his disputed claims. But there was more.
Really? You play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid. You play right into their hands with this rap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But Mr. President,
you know why I got that? Because you have no credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
your
about
elections in this country. We're like a third world country. Your elections are crooked. And you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked, and so is ABC and CBS and CNN.
And then at some point he just gets up and he says, I don't want to do this interview because, of course, he won't provide the facts. It's 7:15.
7:02. Up next.
The big interview.
EWN Traffic.
Amo, you were telling us about delays on the Mike 1 South. What's going on?
That's correct, Bongani. Bumper-to-bumper traffic there between the Baklu interchange and Grayston Drive. That's due to a major accident scene that happened after Marlborough Drive. So please be on the lookout there and approach with care. If you are traveling towards the city of Tshwane via the N1 North, expect heavier traffic volumes coming out of the Baklu interchange. This is due to an accident near Allendale Road. As a result, people are using Allendale Road to try and move away from the scene, and that's why Allendale Road in itself is backed up. I'll have more updates coming up.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Your top
day that changed an entire nation's history.
You are now ordered to disperse.
Tens of thousands of young people rose up against oppression and shouted freedom.
This historically defining moment echoed throughout the country and across the globe.
And now, in honor of this immense courage,
June 16 will forever be known as Youth Day.
This Youth Month, 702, commemorates the youth of yesterday and celebrates the youth of today.
Let's walk the talk.
Let's walk the talk on 702.
If your child's aftercare costs were becoming too expensive, you'd switch, right? So why pay more for car insurance? Switching to Outsurance saved 63-year-old Almero 417 Rand on his 2021 Ford Ranger. Get a quote now, and if Outsurance can't save you money, ask for 500 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. Do it now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Have you ever heard the earth breathe? In Zambia, the mighty Musi Watunya, the smoke that thunders, rises in spectacular display at Victoria Falls. Stand in awe. Feel the mist. Witness one of the world's greatest natural wonders. But Zambia is more than a destination. It's untamed wildlife and people whose smiles feel like home. Zambia, let's explore. Plan your journey at www.zambia.travel.
Just Andalex it.
Do you have a sore throat? Andalex C Oral Rinse and Spray provides targeted relief from 1 minute that lasts up to 4 hours. It reduces pain and inflammation while numbing the affected areas. It also kills viruses and bacteria that cause sore throats to help prevent serious throat infections. Andalex, South Africa's #1 choice for sore mouth and throats. For more information, speak to your healthcare professional.
Just Andalex it.
702's Small Business Focus, powered by Capitec, shines a spotlight on the drive, passion, and dedication behind every successful small business.
Starting your own business and being an entrepreneur is something we need to shift how we think about it and almost treat it the same way as we do other careers. Right from the beginning, make it part of the building blocks in terms of what are your options in life as a young person. You can become an engineer, a chartered accountant, or you can become an entrepreneur, because once you plant that seed, the next natural question is, what does it take? What do I need to do? And then if you follow that on, I think as a society, as business, we have a huge role to play in actually cultivating and developing that muscle.
Every Thursday between 6 and 8 p.m. Catch the Small Business Focus on 702 and bank on better business banking with Capitec. Capitec is an authorized FSP 46669.
Thungela celebrates 5 years of listing on the Johannesburg and London stock exchanges. For 5 years, Thungela has built a trusted, high-quality thermal coal business, investing in its operations, its people, and communities neighboring its operations. Thungela has returned 13.8 billion rand to shareholders, strengthened its balance sheet, and expanded globally. They are proud to be a top employer for 5 consecutive years and 3 years fatality-free, responsibly creating value together for a shared future.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
On to this now. Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts taking a dramatic step, voting to pursue criminal charges against the former CEO of the Road Accident Fund, Collins Letswalo, after he repeatedly failed to show up before the committee. We'll go back towards the end of last year when Letswalo was formally summoned to account for his leadership at the embattled Road Accident Fund, and instead of appearing, he pushed back through his lawyers, arguing in fact Scopa had no authority to question him and challenging the legality of the summons itself. Songa Zozibi, of course, is the chair of Scopa and joins us now to bring us up to speed on this matter. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. You and I have spoken about this previously, but perhaps for a bit of background, let's go back to where all of this began. It has to do with his refusal to come and account to Scopa, doesn't it?
Good morning, Bongani. It's always good to be with you as well. Yes, so we had an inquiry last year. We're busy finalizing the report now. We had an inquiry into the affairs of the Road Accident Fund. We invited him. He refused to come. We summoned him. He didn't come. And it's a criminal offense to not respond to a summons from Parliament. And so we are going to be laying charges probably in the next day or two.
Can he say, for example, because I know one of the difficulties was being able to deliver that summons to him, there was some lack of clarity around an address and where to deliver that. Could he say that he never received said summons and therefore couldn't respond to them?
I suspect that's one of the things he may say in court. But the Parliament tried everything. He gave us an address. He used to write to us from an address. We went there. The house was abandoned. We went back to his former employer, asked for an alternate address. Nobody responded to the door there, even though we were reliably informed that he actually stays there. Sheriff went there several times. Eventually affixed his the summons on the gate of his residence. We went further. We published the summons on Parliament's Facebook page, on Parliament's Twitter page, on Parliament's Instagram page. It was sent to him on SMS and it was sent to him on email. So Parliament has taken all reasonable steps to make sure that he knows that we were looking for him, and he didn't respond. But he's most welcome to make that argument in court.
And I mean, without getting too stuck on the details of that, I think in some of the correspondence via his lawyers, has he not made reference to the summons?
No, he didn't make reference in my recollection, but he did on the eve of his last appearance, supposed appearance or intended appearance, make reference to the summons in an interview with Clement Manyatela. So he certainly was aware of it.
All right,
and that's one of the errors that he's made, if he is to claim that he didn't know that Parliament was looking for him.
All right, understood. So, of course, course, what's at issue for members of the public is the nearly 45 billion rand that the Road Accident Fund gets from the taxpayer every year.
No, absolutely. There were so many issues that the committee wanted to canvass with him. There was the issue of the escalating unresolved claims. There's over 450,000 at the moment. Escalating legal fees, both to the Road Accident Fund's own attorneys as well as to plaintiffs' attorneys due to failure to defend claims, inflated claims, ill treatment of staff, but the committee was particularly concerned with how the Road Accident Fund was paying lawyers to do the work of HR. I can go on for the next 30 minutes, Bongani. So we wanted to give him an opportunity to explain from his perspective what led to all of this and what steps he may have taken to fix it, but he refused.
Where is the Road Accident Fund now? I mean, of course, Collins Leswala is no longer at the helm. How much of your concerns are being addressed as we speak?
Look, we've had incredible cooperation from Minister Creasy and Deputy Minister Mkhuleko Hlengwa, as well as the interim board of the Road Accident Fund. So that's been pleasing for us to see. But there remain challenges at the Road Accident Fund, even though they've speeded up the payment of claims. I think virtually all the executive management are acting. The next layer from the executive is also acting because the people that are there are now acting in the executive. And there continues to be numerous challenges where the Road Accident Fund is not able to turn up in court to defend the claims. This has got serious implications for taxpayers, Bongani, because a claim that should be finalized, say, at 500,000 rand, if the Road Accident Fund is not there to defend it, can get finalized at 3 million. Which is why, with about 43 billion, they used to finalize about 217,000 claims a year. They're now doing about 72,000 for the same money, which means the claims are heavily inflated. Due to non-defense here.
I know you're saying you're still compiling the report, but from your sense, I mean, who stands to benefit here? This isn't merely a case of a lack of oversight. There seems to be a hidden hand that's cashing in.
Now, it's difficult to pinpoint to one person, but I'll tell you where most of the money goes. So firstly, the claimants who should not be getting these sums of money do get large sums of money. That's proven. That was presented to us by the former actuarial head at the Road Accident Fund, inflated by about 70%. The second thing is that a lot of money goes to attorneys and advocates, because when the Road Accident Fund does not turn up in court, they still need to get paid, and the Road Accident Fund bears the cost. Thirdly, when the Road Accident Fund unnecessarily contests a matter that can be settled, it results in legal fees. So a lot of the sums that Mr. Leswala would bandy about in public were actually due to the Road Accident Fund's failure to litigate, failure to turn up in court and so on. And so you've got these massive cost orders against the Road Accident Fund. And in interviews, the response that he would give would be, oh, the judges are corrupt. But to this day, the Road Accident Fund does not turn up in court in a lot of instances to defend inflated claims. That started under his tenure. It's continued since.
And that's not to mention, of course, the changing of the accounting standard and some clever number crunching there.
That was actually quite egregious because it wasn't just clever number crunching. The board was actively misled in terms of the technical advice that had been taken and what it actually said. So we called the supposed technical advisors in the form of a PwC, as well as an accounting firm called Mora, and both of them denied emphatically and produced evidence that what management presented to the board was actually false and potentially a fraud, a business fraud in any event, but it was an active misrepresentation. And that was not the only instance where the board was actively misled. So as you can see, there were many, many things that we needed to canvass to clear up, because there may have been a reasonable explanation, but we never got one.
So, I mean, this isn't just about him evading Parliament. At some point, we need to get to some accountability for all that you've mentioned.
Yeah, so Look, we can't call him anymore. The inquiry is done. We're going to lay criminal charges. But in terms of the report, the recommendations are likely to include, will most likely include, people having to pay back money that they've either received in an unduly so or corruptly, one. Secondly, in cases of recklessness where they should have thought about and done things better, we are likely to ask that those monies be paid back. We're likely to recommend further investigations by the police as well as a special investigating unit, disciplinary actions against some people, and also recommendations in terms of what amendments need to be made to the legislation. The Road Accident Fund Act is exceptionally defective in my view for many reasons, but that may be a discussion for another day.
All right, appreciate your time. Songa Zozibi is the chair of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts.
EWN
Business News 29 after 7. Mutero Mr. Price delivering a profit despite a bleak retail environment.
Mr. Price shares climbed 15% on Friday after reporting record profits. Operating profit grew to a record 6 billion rand. The clothing division grew sales by 4%, outperforming the broader apparel retail market. Homeware sales also good there at just under 4%, with strong contributions from Street Sheet and Yappy Chef. The company noted that while its supply chain was helped shield it from immediate cost increases, prolonged global tensions could place further pressure on businesses and consumers. So that's speaking to higher prices later in the year as those fuel prices remain elevated in the market.
Well, those tensions are no longer just prolonged, they're heightened this morning, are they not? What does that mean for oil?
Yeah, no, the missiles to Israel and the Israel also firing back into Iran, that has brought the tensions back on the table. So negotiations are really off the table if you think about it. International benchmark Brent crude futures up 3% this morning, with the oil price up at $97 a barrel. The US Texas Intermediate futures also up 3.5% as a result. The rand this morning starting to weaken as those news come through at 16 rand 56 against the US dollar, 19 rand 10 cents against the euro, and 22 rand 9 cents against the British pound. Gold at $4,307 an ounce, down 0.5% this morning. Platinum also in the red at $1,756. Brent crude now up 4.7% this morning, $97 a barrel. More business after 8.
Time now for the latest eyewitness news, brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 rand. Sfiso Zulu, the president has spoken.
That's right, Bongani. Good morning. Some of the things that he said is that government will be setting up dedicated courts to expedite the process of deporting illegal immigrants. The president addressed the nation last night at the Union Buildings in Pretoria. He says the recent demonstrations against illegal foreign nationals in the country have raised questions over whether government is taking the issue seriously. Ramaphosa says illegal immigration poses a problem to the country's national security and cannot be left unchecked.
We will set up dedicated courts to deal with immigration to speedily support the deportation of undocumented migrants.
The president says there will also be a phased relocation of refugee processing centers to bring them closer to the country's border posts.
The relocation of refugee reception centers closer to our borders is intended to ensure that asylum applications are processed more efficiently, more securely, and more fairly. This will enable government to determine protection needs at the point of entry to ensure that those who genuinely require protection receive assistance as quickly as possible.
Kleinfontein's board of directors say they are working on improving service delivery in the whites-only enclave following complaints by residents. About 100 residents met with the political leadership of the city of Tshwane over the weekend. They've expressed frustration with the managing of Kleinfontein, saying they would prefer to pay their rates and taxes directly to the metro. Community Representative Rain Gennis says he understands the frustrations raised by the residents.
Look, we're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and there's definitely much that we can improve on. The fact of the matter is that we have been trying to formalize, and we've had a lot of belligerence from the unhappy people. And you saw how they treated my questions tonight, is they talk over you, they shout at you. There's a lot of emotions.
The Hawks say they will not be deterred from cracking down drug trafficking networks after a major bust in Durban. Investigators intercepted 2 excavators during inspection over the weekend, uncovering 90 blocks of suspected cocaine weighing 90 kilograms. The discovery, worth an estimated street value of 36 million rand, was made during routine checks. Hawks spokesperson Katlego Mogale says they will secure South Africa's ports of entry at all costs.
No arrests have been made at this stage and the matter remains under investigation. The acting provincial head, Brigadier Zenobia Mulligan, applauded the multidisciplinary team for their alertness and dedication. The acting provincial head stated that the DPCI remains committed to disrupting transnational drug trafficking networks and safeguarding South Africa's ports of entry from organized criminal activities.
And a tsunami warning has been issued in the Philippines and neighboring Indonesia after a strong magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck off the southern Philippine island of Mindanao. Officials have confirmed that at least 3 people have died and 5 others injured. They estimate that the quake also damaged 37 buildings, mostly commercial. In the Philippines' Sarinagi province, near the epicenter, power and telecommunications were down and schools have been suspended while damage assessment is underway. A fine day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures are at lows of -1 and 2 degrees, peaking at highs between 22 and 23.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North. This is between Malibongwe Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. There's also queuing traffic in Sharonlee along Malibongwe Drive towards the N1. While traveling towards the city of Tshwane via the N1 North, expect heavy delays. This is just as you come out of the Baklu interchange due to an accident near Allendale Road.
The top story this hour, President Cyril Ramaphosa says government will be setting up dedicated courts to expedite the process of deporting illegal immigrants.
Outsurance can't improve your couch coaching skills, but they could improve the car insurance premium you currently pay. SMS out to 45142. Get a quote today, and if Outsurance can't save you money on your car insurance premium, ask for 500 Rand cash. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Get a quote and get savings or cash. Either way, you win. SMS out to 45142. When it comes to car insurance, you couldn't be in better hands. Outsurance was voted News 24 Short-Term Insurer of the Year for 4 years in a row. Built to Reader's Choice Best Insurer 4 years in a row. And City Press Reader's Choice Best Insurer Award 3 years in a row. Clearly, they all feel they're getting something out. SMS right now to see if you can switch and save. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Interested in getting a price for your car? Get a free, no-obligation offer on webuycars.co.za. The entire process is quick, easy, and hassle-free. So if you're ready for an offer, simply visit WeBuyCars' website or app and get an estimated price within minutes. Alternatively, you can visit your nearest WeBuyCars branch or pod and get everything done in one go. And did you know that you can sell your financed vehicle to WeBuyCars? They'll even help you settle the bank. So whatever you're selling, bike, boat, bakkie, or car, WeBuyCars would love to make you an offer. So if you're interested in trading in your vehicle or looking for a new ride, visit webuycars.co.za and explore thousands of deals. You can also visit your nearest WeBuyCars branch to explore finance, insurance warranties, and more. So whether you're buying or selling or trading in, visit WeBuyCars online or in store.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
On the next Money Show, we unpack Omnia Holdings' latest annual results and what's driving their performance. We also dive into new data from Nielsen IQ, showing surprisingly strong momentum in South Africa's retail sector. Our business book review, Bronwyn Williams, trends translator at Flux Trends, joining us to discuss her book of the week. And as always, we'll bring you sharp expert analysis of the biggest business stories shaping your world.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by Absa Rewards. Get double cash back depending on your rewards tier when an African team scores and wins at the FIFA World Cup.
Up 2026, courtesy of Visa. Use your ABSA Visa card at rewards partners on match days to score. Join ABSA Rewards on the banking app. Your story matters. ABSA is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
702
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani, Radio 702. Just want to give a comment on the Road Accident Fund and just talking from a perspective from looking from the outside. So I've got a very close friend of mine who knows a couple of lawyers that are raking in millions per month. He's probably earning over 3 to 5 million rand every single month out of the Road Accident Fund. And I can tell you, this advocate, because it's advocates going to the High Court and all of those things, his father has been struck off the roll for improper behavior and illegal things. And I can tell you now, the Road Accident Fund is allowing these things to happen. People are making fortunes out of the despair and the pain from others.
Good morning to all 702 listeners and the presenter. You know, Mr. Letswalo, so-called Collins, he is not above the law. He must come and account whatever that was happening for the past 10 years. Who does he think he is? I mean, he must come. I mean, people are going to Matlanga. Who the hell does he think he is? He must come and account. He must come and account. He must be investigated. He must be charged, and then he must go to jail. Thank you.
Well, hopefully, if nothing else, this will set some kind of precedent in terms of how Parliament enforces accountability against public officials who refuse to cooperate with oversight processes. And as far as the lawyers who are making a fortune off the Road Accident Fund, I wonder if your sense of it is simply that people are looking the other way, this is bad accounting, bad management, bad decision making, or is there somebody who stands to benefit in all of this mess? Where we are as a country means that option is never quite off the table, is it?
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. A chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from, is it Jabi?
That's Jabi.
Jabi, hi. Please give us today's answer.
Hi, Bongit. The answer is 1996.
1996. And tell me, Jabi, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
I'm a member.
Your biscuit, 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to 702 and Outsurance. There you have it. Jabi says it was 1996. At least that is his answer. What on earth could the question be? Call us if you know on 011 8830 702.
EWN Sport.
Gosh, Cindy, the week is here.
Yep.
The first game is this week.
3 sleeps away.
3 sleeps away. All right, do you know what time? On Thursday it would be, right?
Yeah, it's Thursday. I must actually double check.
We've got to check what their time is and convert it to our time.
I saw 9 o'clock somewhere, right? But I don't know if that is... So if you're asking what we're talking about, the World Cup is opening this Thursday night. Between the opening game will be Mexico against
South Africa.
Yeah. I must double check if that
All right, that's fine. That's fine. It's likely to be an afternoon game,
Okay.
if I remember 2010 at least.
So according to the schedule, it looks like it's an evening game our time.
Yeah,
It looks like it's a
Afternoon
9
their
o'clock.
time, yeah,
It's a 9
yeah.
o'clock kickoff.
All right.
Our time.
Thursday.
So Friday, we're all just going to be tired.
How do you think? No, let's not go
No,
there.
let's not even start that. I've got a whole. What else am I going to fill tomorrow's bulletin with after everything wrapped up on the weekend? So the World Cup starts Thursday. Denmark's friendly with Ukraine was abandoned after Christian Eriksen collapsed in the 65th minute. He was able to walk off the field. Denmark was leading 2-1 at the time. This is not the first time he has collapsed, having suffered cardiac arrest during a match in 2021. You remember that? He does have a defibrillator fitted. Argentina chose to rest Lionel Messi in a 2-0 win over Honduras yesterday. Portugal's Leao was sent off in a 2-1 win over Chelsea. Elsewhere, Brazil, Germany and Belgium each winning their final warm warm-up games. Springbok assistant coach Tony Brown signed to join the All Blacks as their assistant coach. That'll be from 2028 on a 2-year deal. While the Blitzboks defended their World Championship title despite finishing 4th in Bordeaux, Tristan Lades was named Player of the Year, having scored 124 points in 9 events, including 16 tries. The United Rugby Championship final, repeat of last year, will see Leinster hosting the Bulls in Dublin on Friday, June the 19th. In Formula One, 19-year-old Kimi Antonelli is the youngest driver to win a Monaco Grand Prix, ahead of Hamilton and Hadjar to go 66 points clear up the top of the table, while Hamilton equaled Ayrton Senna's record total of 8 Monaco podiums.
On our side, I think we've been progressing over the past months. Can't quite keep up with them just yet, and it's probably going to take a lot of work for us to get to their level. But to get another second place is such a great feeling, especially in Monaco. Under the trickiest conditions, it was the hardest conditions out there. Yeah, I'll definitely take it.
Before yesterday, P titles, without a Grand Slam win, he had won 25 titles. Zverev yesterday needing 5 sets to beat Kaboli 6-1, 4-6, 6-4, 6-7, 6-1 for his first Grand Slam win.
If you call me the worst player to win a Grand Slams, I could not care less right now. No, I'm just saying, if somebody thinks that, that's fine.
The women's title on Saturday was won by Mira Andreeva. And in cricket, England thrashing New Zealand by 115 runs in the first test. Man of the match, Ollie Robinson, taking 7 wickets in that match. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
16 minutes to 8. This EWN Traffic brought to you by Insurance. SMS out to 451442 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask for 500 Rand. Traffic in the capital, Amo?
That's correct, Bongani. An accident on the N1 South that happened near Linwood Road is causing delays coming out of the Sifako exit. About a 20-minute hold up there. While traveling on the N4 West, you expect delays as well. This is between Lindburn Road and the Proof Plus interchange. If you are leaving Mountain View at this particular moment, delays on the R80 East approaching Eskem-Pahlele Drive. There's also queuing traffic reported in Centurion along the R55 approaching Weirder Road. While heading towards Centurion, do expect delays on the N14 East towards the Brakfontein interchange. And then heading towards Midrand, we still have got that major accident seen on the N1 North that happened near Allendale Road. Delays coming out of the Baklu interchange, and then in Sunninghill, queuing traffic on the N1 North towards the Baklu turnoff. In fact, routes around the Baklu interchange this morning are heavily backed up because the N3 North as well coming out of Kelvin is also heavily backed up due to an earlier accident. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Seeing the outsurance point on your route is like that feeling you get when your colleagues notice and compliment your new hairstyle. It just makes you feel good. The outsurance pointsmen are traffic heroes, easing congestion, helping everyone get to where they need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. Just another way you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702 salutes the youth of 1976
who dared to walk the talk.
The system has done so many things
and change the course of history forever.
702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk is calling on you to walk with the people for the people. Sunday 26 July, Babize Bonke. This year you can choose from 3 different inner city routes. The 8 kilometer 44 Main Street route takes you from Ellis Park through Maboneng and Jewel City, past the Field of Dreams and the Maharishi Invincibility Institute. You then go through the Main Street Precinct, Gandhi Square, past the Carlton Centre, and you finish back at Ellis Park. So whether you're taking on the 8 kilometers, 5 kilometers, or 15 kilometers, enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg.
FlySafair's winter win-back has officially landed. For 60 days straight, one lucky traveller every day will win the value of their flight back. Pre-book flights in June or July for travel anytime and stand to win the value of your airfare back as a FlySafair voucher. Don't just chase the sunshine, chase the win this winter. Book at flysafair.co.za and you could be getting your bucks back soon. Excludes taxes and fuel surcharges. FlySafair, for the love of flying. T's and C's apply.
What if the problem you faced became the business that changed everything? That's what Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 is all about. And this year's theme is simply this: my pain, my purpose, my solution. So we're calling on small businesses that turn real challenges into powerful ideas. 200,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. Mentorship, business support, tools to help you grow sustainably. Enter the Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 now at primemediaplus.com or igniteyourbusiness.co.za. Nedbank, see money differently. An authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me what's the question. If the answer is 1996. Let's go to Moses in Pretoria. Moses, what's the question?
The question is, in what year did the song Killing Me Softly by the Fugees top the charts in the UK?
Moses, you can just call me the presenter, hey?
Okay. Bingwa.
There was an earlier voice note that made reference to the presenter. Moses, no matter. You have won 2,000 Rand in cash. All thanks to 702 and Outsurance. Yes, indeed. Stay on the line, Moses. The producers will get your details. This rendition of a famous Roberta Flack track dominated the charts in 1996. It was a monster hit. The scary part is I was already an adult. So that was 30 years ago.
With his song.
Yo, this is why Clef Refugee Criswell, little bass sitting up here on the bass. While I'm on this road, I got my girl L. One time. Hey yo, L, you know you got the lyrics.
I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style. And so I came to see him and listen for a while. And there he was, this young boy, stranger to my eyes, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with this song, killing me softly with this song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song.
Outsurance can't improve your karaoke skills, but they could improve the car insurance premium you currently pay. SMS out to 45142. Get a quote today, and if Outsurance can't save you money on your car insurance premium, ask for 500 Rand cash. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Get a quote and get savings or cash. Either way, you win. SMS out to 45142. Want all the bells and whistles of car insurance at a great price? It's time to switch to Outsurance. Not only could they save you some big bucks, you also get that legendary out bonus that pays you a percentage of your premiums back if you're claim-free. So, are you ready to switch and save? Don't miss out. SMS right now to make sure you always get something out. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
The Johannesburg Philharmonic Orchestra returns for the second week of the Winter Symphony season. It starts this Thursday, the 11th of June, under the baton of conductor Alexander Ariece. Celebrated Italian pianist Federico Colli takes the center stage in a performance of Schumann's Piano Concerto. The season concerts feature exhilarating performances every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. at the Linda Auditorium. It runs until the 25th of June, and tickets are available at Quicket.
Gabelo's the go-to guy for renovations. His bakkie is full of tools, ready to build dreams. But one day, a reckless driver takes him out. Now, his bakkie standing still. No wheels, no money, Kabza. But with budget, he'd be back on site faster than you can say DIY. Don't let expensive days stop your hustle. Visit budgetinsurance.co.za for a business insurance quote today. Budget is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy, a pulse, and a feeling connecting everybody. The heart of Mzansi.
It's Joburg, you know?
In celebration of this, 702 has partnered with Jozi My Jozi, and we're calling on you to walk through the city center with us.
Walk the talk.
In the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk. Babize bonke. On Sunday, 26 July, we're going to the iconic Joburg CBD, the home of dream creators and operators, where we dominate and history make. So join us and be a part of something special.
I'm ready to rock this book.
Because when Joburg walks together, extraordinary things happen. Enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk this July, hosted by the city of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for the people, for our Jozi. Bamise bonke. Enter Walk the Talk now on primemediaplus.com.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
Let's catch up now with the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Bella.
So many 702 landers are going to relate to the photosynthesis video, but I'll let you tell it.
Yeah. I mean, homework. Just even saying the word takes me back. I get PTSD thinking about homework, right? And I wonder how crazy it is now these days with schools and homework. I know some schools have tried to cut down on the number of the load of homework that they give children to take home. But if you're a parent, you have to deal with homework. Mom, help me with my homework, please. And, you know, maybe you're in a situation where you look at this and you think, this algebra equation here, I've got no clue. And you want to maybe seem a little bit intelligent in front of the little one, I'm sure. So while we're talking about this, this parent walks into the room, the youngster is doing some homework and has a question for her. Let's take a listen. Would you respond the same way, perhaps?
Mom. Yes? Can you please help me with my homework? What is it about? What is photosynthesis? What is photosynthesis? Yes. It's about photosynthesis. Let's see. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. It's about photo. You want to know what is photosynthesis? What is photosynthesis? Okay. Why is there a cup there? You busy doing you asking me about photosynthesis, but there's a cup in front of you. How does it work? There is a cup you're busy asking me about photosynthesis. But there's a cup right in front of you, on top of your book, but you're asking me about photosynthesis.
Dodging the question.
Yeah, totally.
Dodging the
totally.
question. So, yeah, I mean, in your family, when it comes to helping with homework, are you the one who is tasked with the homework? Or maybe it's like, if it's maths, ask your dad or ask your mom. Or if it's science, you may be stronger in particular subjects. So how do you handle the homework load when it comes to assisting the little ones with their homework? And, I mean, have you been stumped before with a question and it's like, I don't know. I have got no clue on how to do that. Let's phone Auntie so-and-so. She may know.
Look, my rule of thumb is stay in your lane.
Yeah.
I'm not, well, I suppose also your children also get to know you, right? No child of mine is going to be asking for maths assistance, right? When it comes to homework, stay in your lane. Anything to do with English, history, those sorts of subjects, I've learned to be good at teaching the little ones, right?
Yeah.
But for me, it's stay in your lane. stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
But also, can
yeah.
we talk about those parents who would distract you, right? Because that's what this woman is doing.
Yeah.
Instead of
she's
dealing, so you
diverting.
ask a hard question of your parents, and somehow they rock you back on your heels and they turn it against you. Let's talk about that style of parenting too. That's what's gone viral with Kabazela.
702.
702.
Feedback with Baphelile Sambo.
Baphelile Sambo, one of the other questions we were asking a little earlier on is what is killing you slowly?
Oh, Bongani.
Things you must let go of that you know are causing you harm. Would you do them anyway?
You know what, Bongani, before I get to what's killing me softly, there's been quite few serious concerns that 702 lenders are sending us. The likes of energy drinks, about what's killing them softly, cigarettes, gambling, and many more, just to mention a few. And as you suggested, the first step is acknowledging the problem and then seeking professional help where needed, because some of them have actually asked where can they find the help. So if you know that you have a problem, you need to seek the help. What's killing me softly is sweets. I have a sweet tooth. I mean, I think I went to the dentist last year more often than not, just to take out some of my rotten teeth.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's killing me softly and I cannot let it go. But anyway, following our 650 discussion with international relations expert Prof. Andre Thomas Hausen, there was a strong reaction from 702 lenders. Many pushed back on his remarks, suggesting Somalis and Sudanese are not African. Yusuf on WhatsApp raised a pointed question and asked, are we now dividing ourselves even further, this time along religious lines too?
Yeah, I mean, look, you obviously... you put in people based on the credentials they have in terms of their careers and their contributions in the places where they've worked and who they are. This isn't just, some guy trying his luck. He's a professor emeritus at the University of South Africa in law, international relations, etc. And we wanted to ask him questions relating to the president's efforts, not just from a security point of view, as he outlined last night, but diplomatically as well. And completely left field as an academic, I did not expect him to say to us, people from countries that are on this continent are not from this continent. And certainly, whichever way you dice it, even with those people who might say some of the groups that are calling for action are perhaps crossing the line, I think I've not heard anybody who has made this about religion, right? It has nobody I can think of has made this about religion. And as I argued earlier, we're a diverse continent. Forget our cultures and our religion. Even genetically, we are the most diverse continent on this planet. Of course, we're not going to have the same tradition. More of your reactions after this Eyewitness News, brought to you by Momentum Financial Advisors. Help you have a better shot at generational wealth. Speak to a Momentum accredited financial advisor. Momentum is part of Momentum Group Limited, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
This is EWN.
Ramaphosa says immigration concerns must not fuel violence.
We are determined that we will not allow anyone to exploit this problem to destabilize our country.
And 3 Iranian cities have been targeted in the latest strikes with Israel. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. President Cyril Ramaphosa says government will not allow groups to hijack the issue of illegal migration to incite violence in the country. Ramaphosa addressed the country last night as protests against undocumented foreign nationals continue in some parts of South Africa. While they have been relatively peaceful, there's been sporadic moments of violence, looting and harassment of foreign nationals. Ramaphosa says there are ways to deal with the issue without resorting to violence.
We are determined that we will not allow anyone to exploit this problem to destabilize our country. Our law enforcement agencies and security services, working together with other state entities and key stakeholders, are ready to act to protect the Republic, public safety, maintain law and order.
The president says dealing with illegal migration remains a function only reserved for the state and its institutions.
No other person is allowed, for example, to confront someone in the street, in the pathways of our country to demand proof of identity. We know that South Africans are not xenophobic, as there is no space for xenophobia, for racism, for sexism, for Afrophobia or any other form of intolerance in South Africa.
Ramaphosa has acknowledged concerns raised by South Africans about jobs, poor service delivery and crime, while also calling on foreign nationals to respect the country's laws and its citizens.
The challenge we have is that some people have migrated to our country irregularly and are here illegally. South Africa has a right to implement policies and measures that prevent irregular migration.
The president's address has received mixed reaction from some political parties, and the president's address comes ahead of planned mass demonstrations by groups who are against foreign nationals who are in the country illegally. Nkosikhona Malingamnisi reports.
The DA has welcomed the president's speech, with its leader Jordan Hill-Lewis backing Ramaphosa's message that South Africa's economic crisis stems from failure to grow jobs, not foreign nationals. Hill-Lewis says immigration laws must be enforced by the state, not vigilantes or politicians chasing votes. The DA, which looks after the Home Affairs portfolio, says it will support every lawful effort in the GNU to restore order, secure the borders and fix the broken systems that have allowed illegal migration to become a source of fear and frustration. But Action SA is unimpressed with party president Herman Mashaba dismissing the address as weak and reactionary. He's accused Ramaphosa of recycling failed ANC talking points. He says only mass deportation and strong enforcement will solve the immigration crisis. Meanwhile, government insists the June 30 deadline set by anti-illegal migration groups will not be marked by violence, with law enforcement on standby. Nkosikhona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
At the same time, in the Western Cape, the first two buses carrying 150 Malawian nationals under the voluntary repatriation exercises have departed. This has been confirmed in a statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Republic of Malawi. Those who departed on Saturday are among a number of foreign nationals that were displaced and sought refuge in temporary camps in Mossel Bay.
We have been chased by the community here in the Kremlin. Things are not good here in South Africa, especially for us foreigners. They treat us wrong. For the foreigners in this country, there's no chance.
That time we were scared with the kids. So we are happy now just because we are going home. With the kids, we was very scared. It was too bad for us.
The Matanga Commission of Inquiry resumes today with a new witness. The commission last week focused on the stolen consignment of drugs at the Hawks offices in Port Shepstone. In June 2021, police intercepted a shipping container carrying 541 kilograms of cocaine with an estimated street value of about 200 million rand. In November of the same year, the drugs were stolen from a Hawks storage facility. Alfred Mushwana reports.
Several officers have already appeared before the Matanga Commission and admitted to bungling the June 2021 drug bust. However, the Commission's focus has been on whether there was any criminal intent in their actions. The drugs were seized from a depot in Isipingo in Durban. However, they were stored more than 100 kilometers away at the Hawks' offices in Port Shepstone. There's been allegations that there was a concerted effort by some police officers to have the drugs taken to the Hawks' Port Shepstone offices, as they were not secure and it would be easy to have them stolen. At the heart of this alleged plot is KZN Hawks boss Lisecha Sinona, who is expected to testify this week. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
And explosions have been reported in 3 cities in Iran, where the Israeli army says it has struck sites in west and central Iran. This is after Iran launched missiles towards Israel last night, marking an escalation in a war started by the US and Israel in February. The violence has raised questions about the future of a ceasefire agreed by Tehran and Washington in April. Iran says it attacked Israel last night because of its strikes on parts of Lebanon's capital Beirut over the weekend. Gold is trading at $4,294.28 a barrel. The rand is at 16.61 to the dollar, 22.14 to the pound, 19.14 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $97.28 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident on the N1 North near Allendale Road. Is causing delays from the Baku interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North between Marlborough Drive and the Baku turnoff while heading towards Sandton. Bumper-to-bumper traffic on the M1 South between the Baku interchange and Grayston Drive due to an accident.
And in your sport, the Blitzboks defend their 7th World Championship title with Tristan Lades named Player of the Season. Denmark's Christian Eriksen recovering after collapsing on the field in last night's friendly with Ukraine. Alexander Zverev wins the French Open, his first Grand Slam win of his career. And Kimi Antonelli wins in Monaco to go 66 points clear at the top of the F1 driver standings.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 22 and 23 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. President Cyril Ramaphosa says government will not allow groups to hijack the issue of illegal migration to incite violence in the country.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
They say the early bird catches the worm. Great advice, unless you're the worm. Generic so-called wisdom doesn't work for everyone, so I settle for a financial plan that's one size fits some. Momentum accredited financial advisors take the time to get to really know your unique situation. Advice meets your context. Momentum, your journey to success. Momentum is part of Momentum Group Limited, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
On Sunday, 26 July, 7:02 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk unites us all in the iconic Joburg CBD.
702
Walk the Talk. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This youth month, 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
Commemorates the youth of 1976. Let's walk the talk. This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Taking your views, your thoughts on the president's address last night, saying he's not going to allow groups to hijack the issue of illegal migration and to incite violence in the country. Do you think that his proposals go far enough? Are they practical? Are you happy that at least he's finally responded to what people have been calling for? Do you think it's practical to have 10,000 new labor inspectors? How much can they inspect? Where are they going to inspect? And once they have inspected, then what? What about the borders? What about the officials? Somebody suggesting that perhaps beef up the troops at the border. But we know that sometimes it's troops who, for a little bit of change, allow people to go through. There are fences. I mean, I've even seen TikTok videos where somebody jumps over a little patch of ground and says, now I'm in Mozambique. And they jump back and they say, now I'm in South Africa. And there's nothing for kilometers to stop them. Or there are holes in little fences. And everybody knows where people sneak in, and it's just allowed. The president saying yesterday, you can't just go around stopping people demanding their papers. Not if you are not law enforcement. But how many people have been pulled out of taxis, out of buses, because taxi operators decided you can't be here. You can't carry passengers at this time, even in private vehicles. That's allowed to happen. Will this make any difference?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Surely one of the aspects of leadership must be leading means you are in front. People follow you, right? You are in front. You are ahead of what is coming. Was the president once again led into action? I don't agree with all the groups that have been highlighting the issue in terms of how they've done so and some of what they've said. I think some of it is very close to the line, if not over it, as far as breaking the law is concerned. And I think, as the president said last night, we rightly ought to be concerned about that. But nonetheless, has it taken that action once again for the president and the authorities to act? Your views.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
702 land. Kavazela just reminded me of the first time my daughter came home with Afrikaans homework. Mind you, we went to Tolulu as a secondary school. I have never done Afrikaans in my life, so I had to go make friends with my neighbor. So that now she knows if she has an Afrikaans homework, it's the neighbor's duty, not ours. The horse from Mitran. Thank you.
Guys, photosynthesis. That was funny, and thanks for that. Me with the homework,
maths, primary school maths, and grade 1, maybe grade 2-ish. I grades, man, standards from 1, from 2-ish I can do. Then the higher ones, I'm thinking your trig and your geometry, it starts becoming a bit tricky. But yeah, I'm the maths one. Oh, guys, don't ask me about English. The only English word I know is what is a verb. Like I know verb is the doing word. Do not ask me anything else. Pronouns and what. Yeah, okay, I do know synonyms and acronyms, but the rest adjectives and what. No, it's not my forte.
For me, bongs on the questions that the kids ask that you don't know an answer to. I'm usually the aunt that they come to for all the math stuff. But if they ask me any theory questions like your history and your natural sciences, the kids are always lazy. The answer's always in the textbook. I always tell them, listen, if I don't know the answer, I'll say, I don't know, but did you read your textbook? Because the answer is definitely in your textbook. So that's an easy way of you avoiding the question, because at the end of the day, we need to answer the question. We do Melo from Roodepoort.
Oh, good morning, Bongani. For me, it was my daughter when she was in grade 1. I was trying to help her with her homework because she asked me. And when I looked at that, I honestly didn't know where to start. I didn't know how to do. Her question was, Mommy, did you really do grade 1? Did you go to school and do grade 1? Because you can't just help me with this thing.
Listen, as old as I am, there's nothing like primary school maths, getting to you if that is not your strength. Amo, different subjects? Do you have different strengths?
Yeah, I prefer the English. I mean, my kids are still young, so they're still in primary school where they're only doing 3 subjects, right? It's still, yeah. But I'm the one who does the homework because I'm more patient with the kids.
There's that?
Yeah.
There is that?
And also some of the, I mean, the math there is not so bad. It's not so difficult. So we are still at that age where we can still do things. But my son once got into trouble for asking the teacher, what is the square root of 10? And they said to him, go and sit down. And he went and sit down. So he comes home, he tells me that, I was asking my teacher, what is the square root of 10? And she said, I must sit down. I was like, but why would you ask your teacher that? Because, I mean, what is that?
Oh, the teacher didn't know.
I didn't know, but also, why are you asking that? Why would you expect your teacher to know this? And, the report came from the teacher to say, hey, you know what, your son is asking us difficult.
You got a little Sheldon there. Muteo, if little Johnny has 3 apples, and little Johnny, are you that parent? How many apples? Little John.
Sometimes you do lose your patience. It's very natural because sometimes kids don't listen. Sometimes, you show them something the one day they're brilliant at it. The very next day, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And you're like, what do you mean?
I said, if little Johnny has 3
Your
apples,
little Johnny. If you have
3 apples.
Yeah.
How many apples? Then you put them there.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Now, for over a decade, Nedbank has stood behind South Africa's entrepreneurial spirit, empowering small businesses to ignite their potential and scale new heights. As the proud sponsor of Business Ignite since 2013, Nedbank has been instrumental in turning big ideas into thriving businesses, of course, in partnership with 702. So today we are joined by Alan Shannon, who is, of course, the executive of Nedbank's Private Wealth, Private Clients and Small Business at Nedbank. Pleasure to chat to you. A very good morning. We're back here again, hey?
Yeah, we're back again, Bongani. It feels as cold as it was this time last year, but yeah, it's great to be back. Thank you.
Listen, I mean, it's absolutely fantastic because you don't really always think about how quickly the time goes. You've been a sponsor of Business Ignite for 14 years now. It's obviously working. And tell us from a Nedbank point of view, what keeps you going and involved with this initiative?
The exposure to the talented entrepreneurs that we get exposed to through this program is massively inspirational for us. And I guess we're sort of hoping it continues to be as inspirational for those listening in to the various business stories. It's a great fit, this process, with our purpose, which is using our financial expertise to do good. And a great strategic fit for us also. Our business is about being more than just a bank. Take simplybiz.co.za, for example. Our reach and objective is to add value to small business South Africa. And this program makes a meaningful contribution to that. And it's done so for the last 13 years. And that journey continues.
I love this year's theme, the idea that you're looking for entrepreneurs who have solved a real life problem that maybe even they might have experienced themselves. Because every year, what always stuns me is the caliber of the small businesses that enter.
Yeah, we're blessed in this country. South Africa's a challenging place to be, at times. And I think our entrepreneurs in this country have the most wonderful knack of being able to respond to the overall societal challenges we have in South Africa. And I think, keeping things practical is also important for us. So, yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing what this year has to yield in terms of the entrance and what they bring to the table.
As part of the judging panel, what's your X factor? What's that special ingredient? The one that's hard to pin, but when you see it.
You see some people come into this process with just a level of passion and energy about what they do that is not always present across all the entrants. And so I think that's been a big factor, just seeing how passionate and committed people are to the line of business that they've chosen to be in has often done a lot, I think, to pull people through into the finals of this process. So I think we're very much looking forward to seeing more of that playing out in the 2026 version.
Passion, commitment, consistency. For any entrepreneur listening to us right now who've been thinking about entering, not sure if they will cut it, what advice would you give to them?
Well, there's one thing that every winner in this process has in common, and that is they entered the process in the first place. So I think enter. And then, of course, the next important thing is telling your business story like only you know how. And I think those would be two good starting points. Display the passion and the commitment, and I'm pretty sure we'll see you in the finals.
Look, I suppose from a banking point of view, supporting small businesses isn't just good PR. It's a long-term investment, isn't it?
It is. And as far as Nedbank concerned, our primary role is to facilitate and enable business growth. That's what we do. We use our capital within the bank to provide funding to enable that growth to be unlocked. Beyond that, it's obviously we do a lot of work in the payment space and the investment space. And as I mentioned a little earlier on the conversation, there's a lot we do in the sort of beyond space as well. So, I think from a Nedbank perspective, it really starts with engaging your relationship bankers. They'll dedicate themselves to ensuring they put your business on the platform you need, and that we enable the business aspirations in a way that's relevant to any business we engage with.
Fantastic stuff. Alan Shannon is the executive for Nedbank Private Wealth, Private Clients and Small Businesses at Nedbank.
EWN Traffic.
All right, 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, this EWN Traffic brought to you by the House of Citroen. The all-new Citroen Basalt is here. Book a test drive at citroen.co.za. Let's look at the roads. A crash on the N1 North. What's going on?
Yeah, that's correct, Bongani. This one is right near Rivonia Road. It's causing heavy delays coming out of Winnie Mandela Drive. There's also peak time delays reported on the N3 North between Modderfontein Road and the Baku interchange while heading towards Sandton. Expect delays on the M1 South towards the Grayston Drive off-ramp. That's due to an earlier accident. And speaking of which, we still have got those delays on the M1 South towards the Crown turn-off at the double-decker section. That's due to an accident as well. I'll have more updates coming up.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The all-new Citroen Basalt is here with keyless entry, wireless Apple and Android CarPlay. It's made to look good and to make life easy. And that 470-litre boot, it's ready for every outfit change and then some. The all-new Citroen Basalt Coupe SUV from 354,000 Rand. Register now for a limited launch deal assist of up to 40,000 Rand. Book a test drive today at citroen.co.za. T's and C's apply.
702. The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
Catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam, it's 40 years since the initial or the original Chernobyl disaster. A close shave in Ukraine?
Yeah, feels like it a little bit because Chernobyl has again been the subject of a nuclear incident, let's put it like that. Now, just to calm everyone down, of course, there were no casualties, no radiation leaks as such. Radiation levels are said to be within normal limits today at Chernobyl, but this is the power plant in eastern Ukraine that has been the subject of fighting very close to it ever since Russia moved into eastern Ukraine. 4 years ago, over 4 years ago now. Now Ukraine is accusing them of nuclear terrorism because there was an attack on a storage facility where spent nuclear fuel is kept. And there's one thing that I know about spent nuclear fuel is that I wouldn't want to get near it. Okay, so in this instance, it looks like a reception area in this building was struck, but it's edgy stuff because of how close we could get. And of course, as you say, 1986, Chernobyl disaster, the worst civilian nuclear disaster, and by the way, a really good TV series about it. And now the International Atomic Energy Agency is saying this incident at Chernobyl is deeply concerning simply because there's an awful lot of very dangerous nuclear material held there. Let's not play with fire. And yet, looks like some people are.
Lessons to be learnt there, I think. Adam, let's go now to the US-Europe relationship. Pete Hegseth saying that Europe is facing an invasion.
Yes, he was speaking during D-Day commemorations. So we're talking June 1944 and the, as it were, re-invasion of Europe by Allied forces to take it back from the Nazis. And in the course of this, therefore, a commemoration for D-Day, 82 years on, for goodness sake, Pete Hegseth decided he would then round on European countries because, as he put it, sadly today, different European beaches are stormed by different dangerous ideologies. According to Pete Hegseth, beaches in Spain, Italy, Greece and Bulgaria. Boats and men arrive. When will European capitals do something about this invasion? It's very emotive, and we know that it's become a very hot political potato across many European nations. Parties supporting hardline immigration policies have gone up in the polls, but not all have been successful. And in many cases also, it's been proven in sort of one country after another that it's much less of an issue than people think it is. There's also that thing I always like to remind anyone who's a bit anti-immigration is I bet your ancestors were immigrants. I know mine were. They moved from Scotland to England, apart from anywhere else. There was also Ireland involved and Spain at one stage. The Trump administration sees an immigration crackdown very much as a key part of domestic policy. Okay, that's what they're doing, and Trump got voted in. But why are the Americans so bothered about who's coming and going on another continent? It's a bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hot button issue even here. Our president addressing the nation just last night on it. So a problem around the world, really, I would say. And Adam, it's just a few days now before the start of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Iran's squad has arrived in North America. Not quite in the US of A, are they?
No, not where they were going to be. That we know that Iran's FIFA World Cup squad has had a row over visas and access to the stadiums in America. So they're going to play all three of their group games, Iran. They're going to play all three group games in the United States. And most teams, in fact, all the other teams, will get to train and see the stadium and go nearby and set up shop in a hotel, whatever. They have been told they cannot. They must fly in for the match day and then fly out again, which means they're now based in Tijuana, not in Tucson, Arizona. So they're in Mexico. They wanted FIFA to help them out, and Iran still wants FIFA to help them out. But isn't it weird how FIFA seems a bit more so pro-Trumpian than anyone else? This will be, by the way, the first ever World Cup finals where the host nation, or at least one of them, the United States, will receive the team of a country that it's at war with. Which is just weird when you think about it. Also, weird that it hasn't happened before, I suppose. You think about all the skirmishes around the world. Plus, a dozen or so of the Iranian party, though I don't think the players themselves have done military service with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Wouldn't you want to be a fly on the wall when one of those guys gets questioned by US Customs? Ooh, there'll be no quarter given.
Yeah, I mean, it's a complicated world, is it not? Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
Now let's talk about firmer things, Mutewa. The cement firm, PPC, reporting an increased revenue.
Yeah, Cement Group PPC says revenue increased by 4% to 10.2 billion rand. Earnings before interest and taxes increased by 31% to 2 billion rand. Its South African cement business saw sales grow by 1.3%, with revenue up close to 2% there at 6 billion rand. But in Zimbabwe, its turnaround strategy is definitely working, driving up results and capturing market growth there. Cement volumes in Zimbabwe are up 18.2%, with revenue increasing 14% to 3.5 billion rand. PPC has seen its shares climb 23% over the past year.
So those figures definitely cemented, hey?
Very
Hardening.
cemented. Hardening.
A very, very solid foundation. Right, you've just given us concrete evidence.
I don't have any more for you.
Mr. Price also delivering a good profit despite bleak conditions.
Yeah, they're talking about a South African condition in terms of retail that's quite under pressure because consumers are paying for all sorts of things, including high electricity and energy in the country. But Mr. Price saw its shares climb 15% on Friday after reporting record profits. Their profit up 6 billion rand. The clothing division grew sales by 4%, outperforming the broader apparel retail market. Homeware sales were also up just under 4%, with strong contributions from its other companies, Yappy Chef and Street Sheet. The company noted that while its supply chain has helped shield the company from immediate cost increases, what's happening on the Strait of Hormuz is definitely going to be hiking prices later in the year.
You were asking us about whether we're still shopping
the
physical
old-fashioned
stores.
way, yeah.
So my daughter and I went to go see the Michael movie on Friday, finally. And we then went to go get some takeout after the movie, and we had to wait a few minutes. We're at Eastgate. So I popped down to the Yappy Chef, and I realized how many hours I could still spend at a shop like that, even if I'm not shopping.
But you love cooking. And they
Yes,
have
so that's the
all
one.
sorts of gizmos there.
That's
yeah.
the one place I will spend hours just looking at stuff and looking at stuff and looking at stuff because I'm fascinated, but I can't afford it. But we still
You had all those coupons, so I'm sure you walked away with a lot of stuff there.
Where's the rand?
16 rand 60 against the US dollar, weakening now as the price of oil shoots up. 19 rand 12 cents against the euro, 22 rand 13 cents against the British pound. Price of gold, $4,302 an ounce, or platinum is down more than 1% at $1,757. Brent crude is climbing this morning, up 5% at $97 a barrel. That battle between Iran and Israel over the weekend are pushing up the price of oil.
All right, we will have a look at more of those stories a little later on.
Yeah, Stephen Groote is in
Curtis
this afternoon for that. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Up next, we speak to the legend himself, Bobby Heaney, who's going to be telling us about midnight in Paris. Sfiso Zulu, in the meantime, what have you got?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The search for a man swept away by floodwaters in the Eastern Cape continues this morning. Police say 5 Zimbabwean nationals attempted to cross the Corny River in Edo while traveling in a buggy over the weekend. A search and rescue operation was launched and 2 bodies were recovered from the river. Police spokesperson Marius McCarthy says 2 passengers managed to jump clear and escape the water safely.
It is alleged that 3 males aged 34 to 50 were seated in the front of the vehicle, while 2 males aged 30 to 35 were seated in the rear load bed, which was not fitted with a canopy. Upon entering the river, the 3 front occupants became trapped and subsequently went missing in the water.
The ANC in eThekwini says it aims to regain lost ground in order to fully govern the metro in the upcoming polls. The party's regional task team held a voters' registration drive in the city yesterday. Party Secretary General Fikile Mbalula and other ANC NEC deployees attended the gathering. In 2021, the ANC lost the outright majority in the metro, which forced it to co-govern with the EFF, NFP and IFP. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
Electioneering for the much-anticipated local government election is now well underway. Parties have started setting sights on municipalities of interest, with the only metro in KZN at eThekwini highly targeted. The ANC, which has been running the municipality with the help of other parties for nearly 4 years now, says it wants to fully control it again eThekwini Regional Convener Thabani Nyawose.
On election day, the 4th of November, we are going to collect 1.2 million votes for the ANC. This is an agreement we made with our structures and volunteers.
He says the party also plans to keep all ANC ran wards in the city.
We also agreed out of the 112 wards in eThekwini, the ANC has 74 ward councillors. We are going to protect all of them to remain in the hands of the ANC.
Nyawose says coalitions will be a thing of the past come the upcoming polls. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Durban.
In Cape Town, the Good Party's mayoral candidate Brett Heron says he has a plan to deal with the city's high rates of inequality. Heron's candidacy was announced yesterday at a packed community hall in Westbank. He will be representing both the Good Party and Rise Mzansi, who have announced a plan for a joint candidate for the upcoming local government elections. The parties want to loosen the DA's two-decade grip on Cape Town. Heron says the legacy of apartheid is still prevalent in the city.
And we are free, legally speaking, from apartheid, but we are not free from the living conditions of apartheid. So the challenge that I accept from Songezo is to bring Cape Town back to that spirit, to that fighting spirit for a free South Africa where everybody will succeed.
And at least 6 people have been injured in a stabbing incident inside New York's Penn Station. The attack happened a day before thousands of fans were expected to descend on neighboring Madison Square Garden for a game of the NBA Finals. New York police say a suspect was apprehended after a manhunt. The station beneath Madison Square Garden is used by hundreds of thousands of commuters and travelers each day. According to the fire department, paramedics found 1 victim with serious injuries, 2 with moderate injuries, and 2 with minor injuries. A fine day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 22 and 23 degrees.
And in the traffic on the N1 North, we've got heavy traffic. And then heading towards Florida, we've got heavy delays along Garden Road, approaching Hendrik Potgieter Road. This is due to faulty traffic lights.
The top story this hour, the search for a man swept away by floodwaters in the Eastern Cape continues this morning.
John, have you seen? Filing season dates have been announced.
I did, and I can't wait to be done.
Well, for now, all you need to do is log on to e-filing or the SARS Mobi app. Update your personal and banking details, then check and note your filing dates. That's it.
Make tax matters your priority number 1. Unlock the power of done. Go to sars.gov.za. SARS, at your service.
In today's top stories:
trade tariffs,
droughts,
housing crisis,
the Middle East,
AI,
fuel crisis,
hunger crisis.
Current affairs affect your financial future. Unpredictable times call for a disciplined financial partner you can trust to deliver real value consistently. Reliable, trusted. Whatever hits the headlines, it's what makes us proudly predictable. Visit psg.co.za. Affiliates of PSG Financial Services, a licensed controlling company, are authorized financial services providers.
My name is Richard Sutton, and I'm the host of the podcast Shift Happens. This podcast is about you and the seasons of growth, change, and transformation that shape who you become. My guests are people who have walked long, difficult roads and along the way developed the tools and skills they needed not just to survive, but to thrive and make a real impact in the world. So if you're feeling stuck, uncertain, or searching for what's next, this podcast is for you. Welcome to Shift Happens. Now streaming on PrimeMediaPlus.com, the Prime Media Plus app, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
But Bongani, how do things work? If they can be clear that they have evidence against Collins Letswalo, evidence of fraud and a mismanagement of funds, that is a criminal case. Why are they still wanting him to come and present himself? Why did they want him to come and explain himself at Scopa? Isn't that a criminal offense? This guy is supposed to be arrested by now.
Good morning, 702 listeners. Mr. Bongani. Hey, my brother. Raf, road accident fund is godforsaken. I know a lady who was ripped off. The lawyers took 75% and gave her only 25%. Just imagine. I know a lady. I was there. I saw everything. We still have documents. Thank you.
Hi. When we're talking about the road accident fund, I once worked with a case where a few clients said that while they were still in the hospital after the accident, they were visited by lawyers to say that they will be handling their road accident fund case. So how does these lawyers know that the people is in the hospital and which hospital you are? So it goes much deeper than just the normal stealing.
Gosh, that sounds almost like vultures, hey? Circling. I mean, the Road Accident Fund is meant to provide all road users in this country with, I suppose you could call it social security or insurance cover, right? You're meant to be compensated if you are injured on our roads, or your dependents if you are, say, for example, killed in an accident. Yes, there are legal limitations that they're all subject to, but this is what they're supposed to do. But often the people who want to claim from RAF are at their most vulnerable, flat on their back, and trying to pick up the pieces of their lives after a calamity that they did not expect. The idea that there are people circling, right, drooling over their misfortune, thinking about the monies that can be made. They wanted to bring in the former CEO to explain things that don't make sense. I don't think that suggests that they've got evidence specifically against him for any wrongdoing, but there were questions to be asked. The Road Accident Fund receives close to 50 billion rand a year. 50 billion rand a year. And yet struggles to pay claimants for the most disastrous situations that occur in their lives. And the lawyers are creaming it, running all the way to the bank. Something's wrong.
EWN Sport.
All right, Sinipalita, you told us a story a little earlier on. Just explain how rugby works. The Blitzbokke, they fished fourth, but they won. How does it work?
Are sevens. It's sevens rugby.
Yes.
Your Springboks are a 15-man game. Blitzboks play two types of series. The one is the 7 series, which is seasonal, goes all year round. And then you get the World Championship, which is played over 3 legs. So they are the World Championship champions, and they defended their title on the weekend because they had got enough points over the other legs that they carried through to this one. So despite finishing fourth, they are the World Championship champions, and Tristan Lades was named Player of the Year, having scored 124 points.
So if it's got the word Bok in it, you're going to win.
Not necessarily.
Okay, that's a stretch.
Meanwhile, New Zealand's coach Tomasi Kaba stepped down from the 7 side after his side was beaten by France in the final. The 15-man game, New Zealand Rugby confirming Bok assistant coach Tony Brown will join the All Blacks as their assistant from 2028. For the first time in United Rugby Championship history, the final will be played on a Friday night. The Bulls will travel to Dublin to take on Leinster in a repeat of last year's final on June the 19th. The FIFA World Cup starts Thursday. Denmark's Christian Eriksen is doing well after collapsing in the 65th minute of last night's friendly with the Ukraine. The match was abandoned with Denmark 2-1 up. This is not the first time Eriksen has collapsed, having suffered cardiac arrest during a match in 2021. In tennis, Alexander Zverev admits he struggled mentally in the French Open final. He needed 5 sets to beat the 10th seed Flavio Cobolli 6-1, 4-6, 6-4, 6-7, and 6-1 to win his first Grand Slam ever.
I was very tightened up. I was very, emotional. I was a bit unstable also in the 4th set, but and I actually think that the cramps helped me in a way. I think that I let go. I kind of hit my shots a bit more and just let go. Then, of course, the 5th set went my way, and I'm happy about that and happy to be sitting next to this beautiful trophy for the first time.
The women's title on Saturday was won by 19-year-old Mira Andreeva, the youngest winner since Monica Seles. Speaking of 19-year-olds in Formula One, Kimi Antonelli, the youngest driver to win a Monaco Grand Prix ahead of Hamilton and Jar.
It's been an incredible weekend, incredible race, and it was one of those days where, we had so incredible pace, and it was just coming all so natural, and the car was feeling incredible, and it just was giving me the confidence to push, so it was a very enjoyable day.
Antonelli's now 66 points clear at the top of the driver standings ahead of Hamilton, as Mercedes teammate George Russell dropped to third after finishing 13th in the race. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
This Youth Month, 702 commemorates the youth of yesterday
and celebrates the youth of today. Let's walk the talk.
702, Josie, my Josie, Walk the Talk is calling on you to walk with the people, for the people. Sunday, 26 July, Babize Bonke. And this year, you can choose from 3 different inner city routes. 15-kilometer Mandela Bridge route takes you from Ellis Park through town, through to the Constitution Hill precinct, down to Braamfontein, over the Mandela Bridge, then through Newtown, past the Market Theatre, and then back to Ellis Park. So whether you're taking on 15Ks, 5Ks or 8 kilometers, enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the city of Johannesburg.
Insurance pulls you in. Pineapple pulls you under. Insurance. Pineapple. Insurance. Pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
FlySafair's winter win back is heating up, with so many travelers already winning the value of their flights back. And you could be next. Simply book flights in June or July and stand to win the value of your airfare back as a FlySafair voucher. Lock in that mid-year break, and your bucks might be coming right back to you soon for your next escape. Book at flysafair.co.za. Excludes taxes and fuel surcharges. FlySafair, for the love of flying. T's and C's apply.
You've taken your small business far. Nedbank and 702 can help you take it even further.
How important is it that a campaign like Nedbank Business Ignite recognizes not only entrepreneurs but people who solve problems?
It is important because being an entrepreneur can be a lonely journey. You go through a lot of challenges, and when you do have those victories, there's no one to recognize you. This competition definitely does that. And what we're doing differently this year, we actually decided to touch base with our past winners to find out what they've done since winning the competition. I mean, my mind was blown in terms of what these guys have achieved.
Nedbank Business Ignite with 702. Enter now on primemediaplus.com or igniteyourbusiness.co.za and you could win 200,000 Rand. T's and C's apply. See money differently. Nedbank, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
EWN Traffic.
14 to 9, let's wrap up the morning's roads, Amo.
Well, Bongani, it's been a very busy morning. We've got delays on the N1 North heading towards Florida. An accident right near 14th Avenue, delays from the N17 turnoff. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N3 North between Morfontein Road and the Baku interchange, the N1 North between Malibongwe and the Baku as well. This is all due to earlier accident, and that's the reason for those hectic delays. Please be on the lookout there and drive with care. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
What if the problem you faced became the business that changed everything? That's what Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 is all about. With this year's theme, My Pain, My Purpose, My Solution. We're calling on small businesses that turned real challenges into powerful ideas. You could win 200,000 Rand in cash, mentorship, business support, tools to help you grow sustainably. Enter the Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 at primemediaplus.com or igniteyourbusiness.co.za. Nedbank, see money differently. An authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
I'm Samela Kelpoy, an actress and a mum. Do you know what's in your cupboard? I've been trying to be intentional about the food I buy and keep in my cupboard. Unhealthy packaged foods can lead to hypertension, heart disease, and diabetes. Support front of package warning labels on unhealthy packaged foods, high in saturated fat, sugar, and salt. Join me. Sign the petition on healer.org. That's HEALA.org.
Hey, we buy cars. How does it work if I want to sell my car?
We'll drive to your place. You can visit our pods. Even if you don't have space, then at the mall in a parking lot, we've got lots of depots all across the land. Contact We Buy Cars. You're in safe hands. Safe hands.
Wow, that's great.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
Coming up on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Coming up, of course, between 9 and 12 is the Clement Manyatela Show, and the man of the hour is here in the studio with us. Clement, let's just quickly reflect on the president's words last night. Do you think that what the president said goes far enough? Will it satisfy those who've been calling for action? Or will they say, hang on, he hasn't addressed the core issues we've been raising. His solutions are not going to be practical. Is it that they are going to be shifting the goalposts, or is it that the president hasn't risen to the occasion?
So first, I think this is still at a political level. So in fact, I tried to speak to people at the Border Management Authority, like the technocrats at Home Affairs as well, to ask, you need money for this. And the president doesn't have a conversation about money, and finances need to be put behind this. I'm stressing that, Bongani, because the Border Management Authority Commissioner, Mr. Masiapato, always tells us, Dr. Masiapato always tells us that we just need more funding. That's all you need.
Give us the money.
So give us the money. So, and the president doesn't touch on that. So a lot of them are waiting to see, is the minister going to somehow rearrange some funding? Will there be money that comes to help implement these interventions? And that's what I'm waiting for. And until that happens, I'm going to take this as just a political reaction to try and satisfy those who are threatening too much on the 30th of March.
All right,
so we're going to start that conversation on the 702 open line. But at 10 o'clock, I am going to ask someone at Home Affairs where is the money going to come from to implement these interventions. I'm also going to bring in the March and March organizers to hear if they are satisfied with these interventions, or are they going ahead with that march on the 30th of June. At 10:30, we're going to do our second installment of a series we started last week looking at Johannesburg entities. We started by looking at the Joburg City Parks and Zoo, and today we're focusing on the Johannesburg Property Company. And then we wrap up the show at 11 o'clock with our Family Matters feature. Today we're talking about how a parent's words or comments can shape children. There are many times when, whether it's our teachers, our guardians, our parents, they say certain things to us when we're still young, and that sometimes affects how we shape up as adults. So we'll talk about how to navigate all of that.
Blame the parents. Clement Manyatela, between 9 and 12.
702 salutes the youth of 1976
who dared to walk the talk
has done so many things
and change the course of history forever.
The groundbreaking musical Nkoli, A Fierce and Fabulous Life, returns to the UJ Theatre on the Kingsway campus in Auckland Park this weekend. Nkoli celebrates the life of Simon Nkoli, who was an anti-apartheid activist, a pioneer, an organizer of Joburg's first Pride March. Nkoli explodes on the stage, combining voguing, dance, rap, video projections, a powerful story of a remarkable young freedom fighter who changed South African history. There are 3 performances only this weekend of Nkoli at UJ's Theatre, before, of course, it heads off to Germany for its European premiere. Nkoli tickets available now on Quicket.
Let's hear from Chantal and Mel, owners of Jelly Body and Nail Studio, why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance.
We were with our previous insurer for about 4 years, and when we decided to switch, it was actually a flawless process. It definitely pays to switch.
For beauty salons, convenience stores, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 to 9. As you know, of course, we are huge supporters of the arts on this show. So picture this scene. It's midnight at a karaoke bar in Paris. And of course, outside is the world's largest and oldest known asteroid impact site, a crater formed more than 2 billion years ago. Inside, two strangers meet, one running from the past, the other facing a future they cannot escape. And as the night unfolds, secrets emerge, tensions rise, and a mystery begins to unravel. That's the premise of Midnight in Paris, a brand new South African production by the acclaimed playwright Paul Slabolepsy, and of course directed by the award-winning theatre veteran Bobby Heaney, who joins us now on the line. Bobby, a great pleasure to chat to you. Congratulations on this new production.
Mr. Bingwa, I can't tell you how nice it is to speak to you again. And for me, as a director of theatre, there's nothing nicer than taking a brand new South African play written by my dear friend Paul Slabolepsy and turn it into something that people can watch on the stage. So thank you.
It's on at the Peter Tureen Studio Theatre at Monte Casino, starting from this week, running from the 12th of June. It's a month run until the 12th of July. So what are we looking at here? Suspense, emotion, and of course, because Paul is the writer, powerful storytelling.
Definitely powerful storytelling, and I think, a lot of people want to know what's the play about. Well, part of the beauty of this production is you can't actually tell them what the play's about because it unfolds as the play progresses and keeps everybody on the edge of their seats. And in Paul's inimitable fashion, it's got a lot of comedy, it's got a great deal of tension, and in this particular case, I think an incredibly emotional story that we use the phrase, it will change the way you think about life. And I do believe that that's exactly what it's going to do.
Oh, gosh. Okay, this collaboration with Paul Slabolepsy, you've collaborated, obviously, in times in the past. And shall we say, and I'm trying not to be unkind here, Bobby, but as you both face the latter part of your careers, what is it like to collaborate now versus the earlier times?
I got to tell you, Bongani, it's given me the joy of my life in terms of theatre directing. Paul and I started way back in the early 80s with Saturday Night at the Palace, which was groundbreaking at its time. We've done over a dozen new plays together, and to be able to work with such an extraordinary mind over the years and watch each other develop, I know that Saturday Night at the Palace was groundbreaking, both for Paul and for me, and to be working with him literally 45 years later, and I'm proud to say that. There's nothing nicer than being at my age and still absolutely loving what you're doing, and I know the same applies to Paul.
Yeah, I mean, you've had a remarkable career spanning decades, as you've just outlined. What still excites you, though, about directing, about new productions, even perhaps new audiences?
Bongani, I think the worst thing about what's happened to the world over the last 15, 20 years is this people concentrating on screens and not being able to go into the theatre and sit and watch a live performance with extraordinary actors like Paul Slab and the amazing Bianca Amato, who are in our production. To be in the theatre and to watch them 3-4 feet away from you give live performances is something that I think people have got to ignite in their lives, because people have forgotten just how incredibly dynamic live theatre is. And I've always believed that theatre is the mother of the arts. And to be able to go back occasionally like I am now and do it is, for me, the best thing that could happen in my life.
Gosh, how do you deal with that? When people whip out their phones, when people...
Oh, man.
How do you deal with it? Because on the one hand, these obviously are paying audience members. You don't want to disrupt the flow for the actors. I mean, it's a tricky situation to navigate, isn't it?
I think it is very tricky, and in particular in this play, it's an incredibly quiet, incredibly delicate play, and we're actually worried about the fact that people these days feel comfortable about taking crisp packets and popcorn into the theatre and sitting there and having a little party while you're trying to perform on stage. We are really hoping that on this particular one to be able to advise them that it is a very delicate play, and please would they give the respect to the other patrons, because if they don't, it really could ruin it. This is an amazingly delicate play, and I know one that's going to be loved by many people.
All right, now in telling us what the play is about, I know there's a lot you don't want to give away, but just give us, from what you can tell us. Yes, it's a play that has comedy, that has pathos, but it's a little bit about everything. But essentially, why should anyone listening to us now get their tickets?
Because when you meet the two people on that stage, you have no idea where they come from, you have no idea where they're going to, and they are trying to reach out to each other to find out what is happening in the other person's life. And they reveal secrets kind of like they don't want to, and by the end of the play, you realize that you thought it was one thing, no, it wasn't. Then you thought it was another thing, no, it wasn't. And by the end of it, you have been dealing with life issues that are incredibly touching for most people these days, and you come out of there really getting to know the characters in a way that is incredibly moving, and I think will stay with you for a very long time.
One of the best of your career?
I'm putting my money on it.
Of June until the 12th of July. It's at the Peter Tureen Studio Theatre at Monte Casino. You can get your tickets from Web Tickets. And, of course, Bobby Heaney is the director of this play, the award-winning Bobby Heaney, I should say. And, of course, as you heard there in our discussion, happening at Monte Casino for a month. Bobby Heaney, congratulations and good luck.
Bless you, my friend. Lovely to speak to you.
Thank you. Bobby Heaney talking to us from Johannesburg.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
My parting shot this morning, I think we've got to have a wait-and-see approach in terms of our readiness as a country to deal with any fallout that might come from the threats that have been made around migration. My concern, perhaps, is that our political leaders are not at the forefront of running with this thing, but seem to be responding to events as they overtake them. We've got a wait-and-see approach, and we'll certainly be keeping an eye on the migration issue. And I know Clement Manyathela is going to be touching on it extensively in the open line. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. It is 9 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. There has been mixed reaction to President Cyril Ramaphosa's address on migration in the wake of a wave of anti-illegal migration protests. Speaking from the union buildings last night, Ramaphosa promised tougher border management and warned against violence. He